I never had my nipples chafed though during a race. But I got little guys, so.
Hello, Frog Residence, Kermit speaking. Oh, hello, Mr. Iger. Yes, sir, it's an honor to speak with you, thank you. Oh, yeah, I have heard of the Three Sheets to the Mouse podcast. Yeah, I guess they're funny, but I don't really approve of their language. It's not something that me and Piggy want our little tadlets to be listening to. But, Fozzie, he loves them. I'm sorry, Mr. Iger, what do you mean you thought I could use the work? It's closing? Torn down? Galaxy's Edge? Now you listen here. Just because I'm a puppet doesn't mean I'll just bend over and take it. If you tear down Muppet Vision, I'll shove more than just a hand in your butt, Bob.
Sounds sorted, but you'll be rewarded when at last I am given my dues. And injustice deliciously squared, be free bird.
Hello, and welcome to episode number 148 of Three Sheets to the Mouse. We're three guys that just want to help you explore the adult side of Disney. From the parks to the booze to the movies, let's journey through Disney as grown-ups together. I'm Mikey, and joining me tonight are actually three guys that know how to poop on a racetrack. Tim.
Poop on a racetrack? This isn't Shanghai.
Adam.
I have yet to poop on a racetrack.
Apparently I've been misled. I got a lot of hope, fingers crossed, that our special guest has...
Anybody has, he has.
Yeah, shit in the dirt. Kyle Ostrander.
Are you talking about actually on the racetrack or around the racetrack?
I mean, I would accept hanging your ass in the bushes that border it.
Because I've done both.
Maybe, okay, just, hang a cheek over the steeple.
I've seen people do it. I have never done it myself.
Well, if you're on a track and field meet, the best thing to use, like a shot put goalpost, not goalpost, the shot put cage, when it's lowered down, hang your ass over there. Good stuff.
Do you then wipe your ass with the shot put?
The discus.
Oh, so it's almost like a scraping, like a spoon kind of shovel kind of situation.
Oh, see, there's two different kinds of people. I was sliding it like a fucking ATM card. So
well, yeah, you can do that way to get all the crack out.
Yeah. Well, the discus is kind of textured. So you just kind of get like a little twist to it.
Oh, so it's ribbed.
Yes.
Okay, and then when you're done, you just throw it.
Exactly.
And then that's when the shit hits the fan.
Or you see where the shit actually lands.
The shit hits the fans in the stage, which there's only usually like one person there watching.
That's when you call it a shit. That's when you call it a shiskus.
Shitskus.
That was horrible. I apologize for that one.
It's fine.
Oh, it's probably just going to get worse.
It's not the worst dad joke.
It probably won't be the last one of the night.
I'm full of them.
Well, tonight, lovely sheeters that are listening to this this oral experience, we are going to kick back. We're going to talk a little Run Disney because we've got several events coming up in the near future. But first, before we talk about what we're doing for exercise, let's talk about how we're staying hydrated. So, Kyle, lead us off with what you're taking tonight your mouth.
I got one of these in my annual alcoholic, or Kyle, you're an alcoholic, so here's some beers packaged for my friends, my families. And I got me a Avery Brewing Company Rumpkin Ale Brew with pumpkin and spices, aged in barrel rums. Barrels. 16.3 alcohol by volume.
Holy crap.
Holy shit. That's wine.
Bottled August 16th, 2018. Yeah.
It probably just tastes like
okay.
alcohol.
I get no pumpkin.
Oh, well, then my wife wouldn't like it.
I don't get any rum, which is fine. I'm not a big rum fan. It's all I had left.
Fair enough. I mean, you know what? If nothing else, Just the name Rumpkin is funny.
Yes.
It is witty, and I approve of that. I wish it was tastier for you, but I get that when you're down to the basically it's laundry day for alcohol in your house right now. Is what I'm getting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that one.
We've all been there. When you open, you're looking, God, I just want a beer, and you're like, oh, who left this in my fridge?
Michelob Ultra or Clorox?
Yeah,
I'll go with
well,
Clorox.
you know what? Yep. Yeah, you got to chase a Tide Pod with something. Adam, what have you got?
I have Espolón Tequila Blanco. An accidental purchase at this size. Because it was supposed to be the small part. It was supposed to be the small bottle. And this is what happens when you shop at a liquor store online drunk.
Okay, so I was going to say this must have been an online purchase.
Of course.
Because, I mean, if you're in this shop and you can't figure out which is the big and which is the small, then you're their favorite kind of customer.
But it was on sale.
Oh.
So this was $25.
Well. Oh.
Holy hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like,
And
this
you only
has to be
bought
the
the
small
one?
bottle.
Maybe they pulled the wrong one.
It's possible. I'm not complaining.
It's possible.
Once again, that makes them your favorite kind of liquor retailer.
Yes.
All right, and you're just drinking it straight. You're not mixing
Yeah,
it.
I'm
you're
just drinking it
sippy
straight.
sips. Awesome. So it looks like you're drinking water.
Yep. That's how you get away with
son
things.
of a bitch. Tim, are you having some water as well?
I am not. Well, I already finished my first beer since we spent the first hour before we were recording talking about Star Wars.
No,
Not us.
we
This is-
didn't.
From the Merry Axe Murders of New England, from Lone Pine Brewing Company, it's the Horse Seashell Party.
Oh,
It's a tropical pale ale.
not gonna lie. That sounds a little fruity.
It was a lot fruity. It was good though.
Holy
Did
shit.
it have glitter in it?
No, but it's kind of glitter on the can. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, yeah.
That's confetti.
Same shit. It gets everywhere,
Okay.
like sand.
Just like sand. Just like sand when you're wiping your ass with a discus.
Wait, wasn't the Star Wars races had the sparkle beer?
The Galaxy,
yeah.
Galaxy, yeah.
I think they got it actually coming up for
It was in Wine and Dine too.
the Festival of the Arts. I believe they've got like a glitter unicorn beer.
Was it the Elysian, whatever?
I don't know.
Yes, Elysian Galaxy something beer, yeah. So now I'm moving on to a Troganator.
Oh, you guys drink a lot of that.
Troganator's good.
Well, I too am having beer, much like Tim and Kyle. This was a gift from listener and Facebook group member Rachel Barnes.
Yay, Rachel.
Hello, Rachel. I've got New Holland Brewings, which I thought they just made tractors, but apparently not. Dragon's Milk Bourbon Barrel Aged Stout. It's 11%. It's got a lot of words about what it's supposed to taste like on the back. It says it pairs well with red meat, smoked foods, rich cheese, and dark chocolates. I'm not eating, so I couldn't speak to that. But, I mean, it doesn't taste bad. It tastes like many of the other barrel-aged beers or stouts or whatever you get. This is probably one that isn't quite as headache-inducing like I normally get with some of the others because it's just way too much of that, barrel aging where you just have too much of that kind of like a mapley flavor that just overpowers everything. This isn't like that. It's a lot easier to drink, and it's only 11% when I think normally the ones I've had before like running 13 to 14. So it's
You've
good.
had some New Holland stuff before, but I never had that particular.
Well, I mean, like I said, it's called Dragon's Milk, but it is black as night, so I don't know what that's
Well,
about.
maybe Dragon's Milk is black. How do you milk a dragon?
Carefully.
Oh,
Have to ask Daenerys.
you can milk anything with nipples.
I got nipples. Greg, can you milk me?
It
I
may
was
hurt a
waiting
lot.
for that one. Well, they will next week. Why? What are we doing next week, guys?
I don't know. What are we doing next
Running
week?
fucking dopey.
I'm not.
Yes. Why?
I don't. You're talking to the wrong guy here. Excellent segue, Tim. Son of a bitch. I could not have done it better myself because I didn't write anything to get us from point B to C.
Occasionally, I have some good ideas.
Yeah. Well, as we've mentioned, we are going to be talking to Run Disney. And we have 2 events coming up very quickly in the next 2 months. And we've got a lot of members of both our Facebook groups, the 3 Sheets to the Mouse, as well as 3 Sheets to the Finish Line, our running and activity group. We got several people going down for each of these. They kind of started as just going down for races and almost, turned into little bitty early year sheet ups as everybody started signing on. So we thought with that coming up and with just the overall, I guess the ambiguity of what all is entailed in a Run Disney event, because it does sound very daunting, and God bless it when you try to go sign up for one. It's very intimidating. I signed up for one, and I thought for sure I was going to fuck it up all the way down through there, because in the back of my mind, I'm thinking there's 120,000 other people trying to sign up for this same race, and if I fuck it up, I lose my spot. So we wanted to help you take a deep breath, give you some confidence as you perhaps venture out into a Run Disney event and try to answer some questions and maybe debunk some myths that are out there. I don't know. Let's Adam and Tim and Kyle, you guys have ran more events than me, and probably ran more in general than me. Why a Run Disney race? What's special about that?
Because I'm stupid.
The bling.
It's all for the bling.
It's just another excuse to go down to the world. We actually met Kyle during Star Wars 2017.
The first year.
2017?
Yeah.
First year.
Because we met at the Looper meet.
Yes.
Yep.
So yeah.
That was after our first.
We met at a Run Disney event.
Yeah, that was our first ever Run Disney event.
Mm-hmm. That was mine too. That was because of Star Wars. I wanted Star Wars medals.
Yeah,
that's the only reason
Star
why.
Wars medals.
Because when that started, when we had one in Disney World, Disneyland had already been going for 2-3 years.
Yeah.
And I told my wife, it's like, if Star Wars comes over here, I'm gonna run my race, thinking it'll never come over here. Sure as shit. Well, there it is.
Did it replace? I don't remember. I think it might have replaced. There was the Everest Challenge. Yeah. There was a race during this time frame. It might have been based around Animal Kingdom. I might be making stuff up.
It was a nighttime race.
Right.
Well, the Everest Challenge was not at night. I thought it was the only one at night was Wine and Dine.
I thought Everest was also a nighttime race.
I think it was. They had that 10-mile challenge. They had a 10-mile. Was it the Everest 10-mile?
Yeah, I think it was the Everest was a 10-mile.
The 10-mile was at nighttime.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think.
But
50-50, maybe.
So basically, all of us got started because of the Star Wars medals.
Yes.
So why do you continue then?
The medals.
Fair enough.
No, seriously, Star Wars, again, I wanted the medals. The medals kept getting cooler. I wanted to get a Kessel Run as much as I wanted to get a Kessel Run medal, but I'm not flying to Disneyland to run a race. But thank God last year they had a virtual race.
Yes.
And I got my Kessel medal. But every year, except for maybe this year, the medals are pretty cool. And these guys keep racking them up. And unfortunately, I'm not doing Star Wars this year because I'm doing the Dopey Challenge this year.
Yeah, that's the only one I'm doing this year.
I'm Dopey and Princess this year.
Yeah, my wife's going down for Princess. I'm
a Dopey Princess.
Before I did Star Wars, I always ran, but never in an organized race. I was just an on and off again runner, running just for lose weight or stay fit, stay healthy. But once we started realizing that, hey, Disney does races, let's do one. And we picked the Star Wars because we're both Star Wars fans. We only did the 10K that year because we didn't think we could do anything else.
And you found the 10K wasn't that challenging for you?
No, actually, it was.
Oh, okay.
When we ran the 10K, that was probably the worst race I ever ran in Disney because I couldn't even get off the bus right after we'd done the race.
Well,
in the photographs, you looked like you were smiling and having a good time.
Because that's what you do every time you see a PhotoPass photographer. It's your
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Got it.
Until towards the end when, like,
hide the pain.
Like, the 10K I was able to hide. The half, nope. And I'm probably going to look like I'm dying towards the end of the full.
Yeah.
So.
Speaking of photo, I do the run walk, and I'm pretty sure everybody knows what that is. But however, when you get into the parks and you're on your walk break, you see a photo pass, like, shit, I got to run for the photo pass.
Yep.
You got to make it look good.
And then your beeper goes off, like, shit, you got to keep running. Walk break, 10 seconds, fucking photo pass, keep going.
all
Which ruins your
fucking
whole fucking
confused.
rhythm.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, every time.
But you know, you end up having a quicker intervals that way. So
No, or you end up burning out faster.
Yeah, you burn out faster.
oh,
And I'm such a damn nerd and paranoid. I stick with my time no matter what. So I got 30-30. I'm doing 30-30.
Oh no,
Unfortunately.
I think we're doing 31.
we're doing 31s. Well, I'm doing 31s because I'm decent enough at a 31. Basically, what we're talking about is interval running right now, and we're just shouting numbers right now. And I'm like, yeah, this is not going to make sense to anyone. 30-30 represents a 30-second run, 30-second walk. So you would run for 30 seconds, and then you'd walk for 30 seconds, and you just cycle through that consistently. For me, I'm much better at a 30-second run, 1 minute walk, because I need a little bit more time to recover because I walk kind of quick. So you really got to figure out your own pace and what really works for you, but you should never really truly be out of breath on a long run, is from what I was told. And if you start feeling out of breath, well, if you're a sprinter, that changes things. Because if you're sprinting, you're going to run out of breath. It's the nature of the
nobody
race.
sprints through half a 10 or marathon.
Unless you're in the A corral.
Yeah, they're not even
Assholes.
sprinting.
Well, if you're an A crowd, you're an elite runner, and you could probably still run without being out of breath.
Yeah. But like the thing for interval running is, like you said, you should be trying, you should be working hard, but you shouldn't be dying
Exactly.
during your run breaks. Jeff Galloway, the god of this training session, basically says you should be able to talk to each other in short spurts, but not be dead. Like I did a long run yesterday. Basically, I did a long run yesterday, and in the distance I ran, if I ran like straightly complete through, I'd be fucking dead still today. Yeah, I'm sore, but I could still get up and go to work, still not be a bitch about it.
Well,
and you know what? Those are words to live by, I think. For all of you aspiring runners out there that are, struggling, just don't be a bitch about it.
That's what my wife tells me all the time. Being a fucking bitch.
I bitch
And you
about
need a
it.
supportive spouse. That also goes a long way to helping you achieve your goals.
Oh yeah, that's what that is.
Yep.
We fight more on the race days.
Yep.
Oh,
We
I
fight
know.
more during the race.
Yes,
I've
we don't
ran
run
with
together
you, and you
anymore
weren't-
for that
nope,
reason.
You were not near each other on the the one.
Oh, that's why.
But you also had like 8 other people that you knew running around.
Yeah, because the very first race we did, we stuck together, and that was the worst thing we did because either he was ready to go and I wasn't, or I was ready to go and he wasn't, and then we just
We started bickering
bickered about it. And
because we had no problem talking to each other, so we were doing it right.
we started getting resentful, and then finally next race we were like, you know what? We'll
You
just
do you, I do
our
me,
own.
and we're good.
Eventually, towards the end of the race, we end up meeting back together anyway because he slows down and I speed up at the end of the races. So we always end up catching each other
At some point,
at some point.
That's adorable.
By then, we're too tired to fight, so we just
pretty much.
stay running.
Okay, hey, I mentioned that the sign up is kind of intimidating and daunting or whatever. And to anyone who's never done that before, any of you guys have like a tip on, for instance, some of the runs sell out very quickly.
My best advice: take the day off from work if you can, if it's at all possible, because especially if you're signing up more than one person, especially if you can have more than one computer going at the same time. I kind of look like a mad scientist when I'm signing up for the races, because I have 2 computers and then I have my iPad going, just constantly trying to get a good spot in queue. They have made it a lot better since its transition from active. I mean, the only thing I had a problem with was the last race when I signed up for the Kessel Run.
Yes.
Because it was just weird and it wasn't an option for the Kessel Run, and then I did sign up wrong. But they were able to fix that when I had to call them and like, hey, I screwed this up. Can you help me with it? And they were more than nice to fix it for me. I just had to pay a little bit extra for the medal.
It did the same thing, kind of like, it didn't say Kessel Run, it said this, and it said, I signed up for both of them.
That's
It
exactly
said
what
the
I
Kessel
did.
Run. But like you said, I called them, and they're like, yeah, they're not the first person to call about this. So, okay.
But Disney kind of learned from that, I feel. Because signing up for Dopey was stupid easy. You just hit, this is what I want to sign for. This is what I want to sign up for. You fill out all your waivers and stuff, and you're good to go. your challenges don't fill up quite as fast as your individual races do. So there's almost always a spot in the challenge, maybe 3 or 4 months out.
And how early do these races normally start offering signups?
When did we sign up for Dopey?
We signed up for Dopey a long time ago.
It's like years ago.
It was almost right after Star Wars.
Yeah.
April
it was
time
literally, I
frame?
think the week we got home from Star
So it
Wars.
was like
Yeah.
So May, April?
May or I think it was May, because I want to say
Yeah,
Star
the
Wars.
end of April, early May.
And the other trick is if you have a DVC or annual pass, you can get early enrollment, just like everything else.
So you get to take advantage of those perks.
Yes. Now, the good thing and the bad thing about that is if you miss early enrollment, because they have a limited amount of tickets or spots available for those early enrollers, if you miss early enrollment, you can still try to get in onto the regular races too. But it's a waiting game. Get online. It's all done online. There's nobody to call. You'll get placed in a virtual queue. And then when your thing finally processes through, don't get crazy. And don't hit any wrong buttons.
Take your time. Once you get in, take your time filling it out. You don't have, I don't think you've got so long before it boots you up. I mean, don't take a fucking hour, all right? Yeah. But, don't
hit your
think you
back button on your browser.
Yeah, and don't think you know the answer to the questions before you get don't autofill anything. Type everything out, because when you go to pick up your bib, they're kind of particular about the information you give them.
Well, there's the horror stories on the runDisney pages where somebody typed the wrong birthday in for either themselves or their spouse, and it fucked their whole registration up.
Yeah, so pay attention. Well, and that leads us, I guess, to after you register and you wait and then you get there, I guess the next thing you do is you
get super confused at where you're supposed to go for about at least 20 minutes, because this has been my experience every race so far.
Well, we all know you're supposed to go to, Wide World of Sports Complex.
Yes.
Yes.
But once you get in there, first place you go is get a beer.
Yes.
Yes.
No, because you can't take it inside.
No, you can't take it into the sign-up side. So
they won't even let you take
the sign-up side first.
You can't take it on the bus either. Well, what the hell?
Well, the sign-up side, which has been in 2 different places, in a different place every time I've gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, they do have a shitload of signage there.
Yeah.
The signage,
I don't think it helps, but there's a lot of signage.
This one was
weird.
Well, when we did Star Wars this year, it was the easiest it's ever been.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, because it had like a little chute to the right before you even went in. So if you hit the race, go over here.
Yes.
And everybody else go straight.
Yes.
It was still a little confusing because if you were doing the Kessel Run Challenge, it was a separate line for if you're just doing, the 10K or, even the 5, 10 and a half was different than if you're doing a Kessel.
Well, the 5, you had to wait on a separate line for the 5. Then the challenge was another line, and then the Kessel one was another line.
Yeah.
But you had to get inside of the stadium or wherever they were. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was still similar to my experience.
It was actually reversed from when you ran with us, because the sign-up was actually inside the stadium itself and not in the other side, which is where the expo was.
Right. They just flipped buildings.
They flipped it. Yeah. Okay. Which was different, totally different when the first time we signed up, where it was in a totally different building.
Yeah.
Altogether.
Where you had to walk literally around the field to get into the expo center.
So,
yeah.
Yes.
But or was it regress, digress? I don't know what it is. But back to the whole, how long do you wait till sign up? Wine and Dine is in November this year. You can sign up March 10th, 2020. No, November 2020. Apologize. So what, 8 months?
Yeah, give or take.
Is a norm.
Okay.
That sounds about right.
But hell, 1 year they had the marathon, and like the next week you can sign up for the marathon next year.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That was like 2 years ago.
So the takeaway from that is, if you're interested in doing it, get on it.
Yeah.
Well,
Just pay attention to the runDisney website and the parks blogs, and they'll let you know when to sign up.
And I think that was when they switched from active to their own.
Yeah.
Is when they changed all the sign-up periods. Because signing up with active was a pain in the butt. Because you first had to sign up with active, then you had to sign up with Disney, and it's one stop. You go to runDisney, create your profile. You can do that at any time, even if you're not signing up for a race at that point. Which is another suggestion I would do, is create your profile if you're looking at signing up for a race. and then on race day, then actually go buy your ticket.
Yeah, because you also get the email beforehand if you're have a profile on Run Disney when the sign up for the next race is coming.
Smart move. Pro tip. That one right there is free, folks. You can go ahead and take it. That's a complimentary tip. Go ahead and register. That way you'll get all
Just
that
a tip.
all that
Just
junk
a tip.
mail come to your email.
Yes.
But it's what you
Listen,
want.
if you're thinking about doing a Run Disney event and you're going to sign up to get a Run Disney account, you're already getting junk mail from Disney anyway, because no doubt you have a Disney.go website.
Yeah.
If you're DVC, you got one of those emails. If you're AP, you get one of those emails every week. So
If you don't sign up for the race, you get a notification the race starts this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Oh, I've been getting them all day today. I've been getting them.
I got
Okay.
one and
Kyle?
done.
I haven't gotten any today, I don't think.
I've got one today for the marathon. Something about the marathon.
I got a one and dine. I got several one and dine marathon, half marathons. Like, I'm not going, guys.
Yeah.
No, but they still want your money.
Of course they do.
Yeah.
So maybe you're not racing. Maybe you, but let's be honest though. When you get to Wide World of Sports Complex and you've walked through and you've picked up your bib and your little bag of whatever swag they hand to you there. The rest of the time is just kind of like a little party kind of atmosphere almost when you get into the convention center. They got a DJ spinning music. It's loud, and they are selling everything that you don't need for running, and a few things you do need. I mean, it was kind
I
of
can't say that.
surprising to me. I mean, well, to me, ain't no one going to tape my legs and knees for running or walking a 5K. I don't need that.
Right,
those
but for
flip-flops
me,
were
I
very
got a
comfortable.
good pair of compression socks because I left mine at home. This year, I want to go get a cheapy pair of sunglasses because running the half during Star Wars, during that one stretch, I thought I was going to lose my retinas because I was looking directly into the sun.
Just imagine if there were two suns like Tatooine.
Thankfully, there was not. And it's just like, it's little odds and ends that you forgot or you didn't think you could find locally. Like,
Yeah, 'cause, I mean, we've bought compression socks. We bought the pouches from there. So
Body Glide.
it's stuff you need.
Body Glide, if you forget
Lots
that.
and lots of Body Glide.
No, I'm not knocking it. It reminds me of like going to the fairgrounds and you go in the convention center and someone's selling some wax melts and some homemade stuff. But the thing is, I love that I can walk around and browse for fucking hours. That's why if I'd have been left to my own devices, I would have hit every booth out there, had a shitload of ink pens, probably some keychain lanyards. And I'd have tried on, socks and shoes and then walked away and said thank you because I had no intention of buying it. But it's really fun. And you'll see a lot of people that you will probably recognize when you actually participate in the race or whatever. That you're like, oh, you were, trying on the thing. I don't know. I recognize people because I do that thing. Okay. I got, I'm like Rain Man, but with faces, not numbers and cheese puffs.
What you'll also see is like sometimes like the Run Disney will have a booth of all the like upcoming races and what the medals look like.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
Which was pretty awesome because we actually get to see the Paris medals during this last event. And I really want to do a Paris run.
And they've got some crazy expensive displays you can get for your medals.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
don't.
Yeah, you can get them mounted in the shadow box.
You mean my shelf is not a good enough display where I'm just literally hanging the medals off of them with command strips?
If Stephanie hears this episode, she's going to chew my ass out because she still has nothing to hang her medals on.
And it used to be where the Run Disney stuff was lumped in with that stuff. But now last year this year for Star Wars, Run Disney had its own separate area and it was ginormous.
Yeah.
And the line to get in, well, I don't know if we should say this, but the line to get in was so long that we just kind of snuck in the exit.
No, man. We're 3 sheets to the mouse. Go in the back door.
Yep, we went in the back door.
I mean, for me, I always end up buying something that I necessarily need. Like this time around, I have some potions some powders that I want to pre-mix because I'm not a big fan of the Powerade. The last time I had it, I literally had a lump of unmixed Powerade in my cup, and it wasn't good when I'm running. That it's like paste in my mouth. So I want to get a belt with like water bottles. And here it's winter. We have winter. So trying to find running gear now up here is almost impossible. Because everybody's into the winter sports now, where you have like the ski jackets and all that. So it's convenient if you're looking for something like that, especially if you want to try it on. Because when you're running, you want it kind of snug, but not too snug. You don't want it falling down in the middle of the race, tripping you up. So it's just things like that to look at.
But if it does fall down and trip you up, you want that to be in front of a PhotoPass photographer, because that shit's going to be funny.
You would say that like I would show anybody that picture.
Yeah, I don't think that.
If we're friends with you on the My Disney Experience app, we'll see it.
Not if I don't share my pictures with you now.
I'm just saying. it would be kind of funny.
Thanks, Mikey.
I would share it. If I tripped and fell in front of the photographer, oh yeah, that's my new profile picture forever. Yep. I'm going to ask him, did you get that? Did you get a burst of that? Am I going to get that as an action shot?
Well, they can still read your bib, because once the bib, gets an angle, they can't read the number. It won't show up on your. Yeah, that's also another tip. If you want your PhotoPass pictures to show up, place your bib where they can easily see it.
Well, okay. Speaking of PhotoPass pictures and stuff like that, even before you go to the race, you have opportunities for. Don't you?
Not at the last Star Wars one. There wasn't.
Oh, see, I know. I mean, we didn't have. I mean, there wasn't like a character.
Star Wars one there was.
What was
it? We didn't do them, but there was.
And yeah.
But
I know
we
were
fast because the lines were ridiculous.
Oh, they had characters out there.
But I don't remember. No, but in Wine and Dine, when we all did Wine and Dine, they had somebody.
They had like a Remy thing
inside the thing with a PhotoPass photographer taking pictures.
Right.
Inside the expo?
Yeah,
inside the expo, They didn't have that for the Star Wars.
They did not have that at Star Wars.
Well, I thought you were talking about race morning.
No. I'm talking about at the expo itself. They had...
because we took pictures of without bibs.
Exactly.
And in the background was Remy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, well.
Yeah, they did not have that at Star Wars.
Didn't have Star Wars.
Well, some bitch. Disney getting cheap ass.
They had... I want to say they had... what are those things? Step and repeats or whatever the hell they call them.
Oh yeah, there was a step and repeat
with a PhotoPass, but it wasn't anything that special.
But they
got a step and repeat.
You know when you're on a red carpet and you have all the advertiser names on the wall in the background.
Yeah.
And they're kind of like at a zigzag pattern.
Right.
That's a step and repeat.
Yeah, but they did.
This is just a wall of run Disney in a
zigzag
pattern.
But during Star Wars, they have stormtroopers outside.
Yes.
Directing
people. Yes.
Yeah.
Directing people. Yeah.
That I do remember.
That was fun.
Needed, actually.
Well, as long as
they
Shan
need more managers.
Yeah.
Oh man. Hansy Shanzy. That's what his wife calls him. But okay, so let's see. We're walking through this. We registered. Take your time. You go to the expo. You grab your bib. You find out where the convention center is. You enjoy the wares that are there.
Get yourself a beer.
Then you grab yourself a shitty pineapple beer that nobody wants, and then you end up with it, Mikey, because someone thinks Mikey likes it. He'll drink anything. And now you have to finish this thing, but they won't let you take it anywhere near the line just to wait for the bus.
Mikey, you did not complain about finishing that beer quite as much when we gave it to you.
Because James was present and I was being polite.
But you can take that cup to the race with you and get discounted beers.
Yes.
Do they ever change the cups?
Yes.
Nope.
Kind of.
A little bit. Every year it's a little different from what I understood.
All of our cups that we have are the exact same.
I got one.
I was going to say, because I kept...
sparkly...
Yeah. It says Run Disney and ESPN.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, cool. I kept
got
mine.
like 12 of them, and they're all the same.
I'm sending Stephanie with one just to see if she can get a cheap refill when she gets down there. This will be an experiment.
Well, she have to carry it the whole race with her.
Well, no, can't you? No, they offer like a discounted refill while you're at the...
Oh, yeah.
Did they
at
do
the
it
expo,
at the expo? I don't remember if they had
They
it.
did it at the expo.
Yeah. Hey, put in bag check in the morning.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, you can put it in your bag check.
Yeah? Okay.
Although, we always have a crew of people waiting at the finish lines for us with beers in hand ready to go, so...
Yeah.
It's also a punishment for finishing first.
Yeah, you get there first, you buy the beers.
You better have the beers ready for everybody else finishing it
or DNFing, so...
Yeah. We don't want to... That's a sore subject for some people.
Yeah, we won't get into that right now.
Not right now, but we'll get into did not finishes. Right, so after that, is there any particular specific prep that Kyle you would do in like, the 24 hours before your... Well, How early would you get down there, Kyle, before a race?
Talking about like coming down to Disney World itself, or the night before the race.
So for Dopey, when are you getting down?
I'm getting there Wednesday, so the 8th, probably about 2 o'clock-ish, 3 o'clock-ish.
And the race is on what day? Your first race?
Thursday at 5:30 in the morning.
Okay, so you're getting there about a day ahead of time. You're going to get there, hit up the expo, and then you're just going to go back to your room?
If you're going to have fun and do stupid shit, the time to do it was before the 5K. Go get some good food, go get some drinks.
Spend some time in the park.
Spend some time in the park.
Meet us all at Splitsville.
Exactly. The night before the 5K, it's time to do stupid shit. Every time else, no.
Yeah, we learned that lesson the hard way on Wine and Dine.
Yep.
Oh,
yeah,
I
was
did.
fine.
I learned that every race.
I caught a lot of hell.
Yeah.
We caught hell trying to put her to bed.
I don't want to go to bed. We have to go to bed. We have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
3 o'clock, that's sleeping in. Good Lord.
Well, at 2 o'clock, we had to leave by 3.
Yeah, good Lord. Yeah, so
Well,
I probably won't get back to the hotel until about 11ish. Hope to God I wake up around 1:30. Do the pre-race prep and get.
What is your pre-race prep?
You got the PRP. That's your pre-race poop, or several of them. Depends on how bad you got the night before. Obviously, get dressed in your gear, and for me, body glide everywhere that rubs.
You gotta buddy all the rubber parts.
Body glide, and again for the 5K, I'm not taking too much.
Joe.
And then I'll try to get on the first bus at the resort, which is usually about 2.5 hours before the race.
Yeah, like I want to say 3:30 in the morning, depending.
Yeah. Actually, I got it right here. It's gone.
That's why I don't take it.
That's typical of
That's us. I had it. Nope, no.
And it's gone.
I had a bus. Where the fuck did it go? I had the bus thing up here.
Do different
We're gonna blame it on
hotels have different bus times? Because I feel like they do.
I don't think so.
But they got charter buses, so it's not all Disney buses.
Don't think I've been on a Disney bus for a Disney race yet.
No.
There's enough buses.
Yes.
And we heard horror stories for Star Wars last year that buses were getting lost.
Our bus went the wrong way.
Yeah, our bus went the wrong way. I mean, it didn't really that badly, but it went the wrong way.
Yeah.
Now, see, I experienced this trying to meet up with you guys after the 10K, and I just want to say, be patient with some of these bus drivers because their normal route is not getting back and forth to Disney World, and they're dealing with construction and things changing up and what have you. So, be patient with
a bus
them.
that picked you up at, say, Contemporary and drops you off at the race starting line. He's probably not going to go back to the Contemporary to pick up somebody else. They're going to send him wherever they need him. So he may go to Port Orleans the next. So they're all confused and they don't know the routes and the quickest ways to get from A to B. Yeah. So be patient with your bus driver. You'll get there.
I found what I was looking for. What I lost. 5K and 10K is 3:30. First buses.
Okay.
Half marathon 3 a.m. Marathon 2:30.
Yeah, I'm not making the first bus on the marathon.
The marathon is starting earlier this year.
Half an hour earlier.
I don't know if I'll wake up that early. Because that means on the bus that means out of the room by like 2.
Mm-hmm.
The latest, yeah.
That means you've drugged yourself to go to bed by
there's
7.
no way I'm not going to be able. Yeah, I'll have to. Maybe I'll buy some melatonin.
That means we'll have to eat dinner by like 4.
By 2.
Yeah,
you have to be early bird.
I mean,
you're skipping a meal that day. There's no getting around it. You ain't getting breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
The night before the full is when we're gonna carbo load with pasta and meat sauce and.
So you're gonna have to wake up the second you get back to the room, you're gonna have to make that sauce.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I plan on anyway because it takes a while to cook. So as soon as I get back to the room, I might even actually like do some of the prep the night before.
Okay.
Like after we get home from the 10K.
I'm not planning on napping after the half. Just go until I fucking pass out.
Or just
wake up around.
Yeah, well, if you nap, because if you nap, it's gonna fuck you all up.
Yeah, so
because everybody always says keep moving as much as you can after. Granted, the 5K is not quite the same.
No,
but those longer runs, the 10, the half, the full, keep moving because once the bus ride back to your resort could possibly fuck you up anyway when you try to get off the damn thing.
Fucking hell.
You don't want the lactic acid to build up in your legs and lock into your legs, because that's when the cramps start. That's when your legs feel like they weigh 80 pounds each.
So just go ahead and walk back to your resort. That's what we're saying, folks. Just walk back. You'll thank us later.
It might be possible.
That's a good, go Disney Springs. Don't go ride rides, wait in line.
No.
Just walk around,
Try
do
to
a
keep
lap,
moving.
go home, go
We
back.
walked around. I believe we walked around Epcot after last year.
And if you decide that the gondola is going to get you back to your resort faster and it breaks down while you're on it, you paid your money, you takes your chances, all right?
Well, that's not going to be where we are in Epcot anyway.
I'm just saying, Adam. Someone's going to do
We're
it.
not gonna...
Someone's going to do it.
Parking lot.
Yeah.
It's going to break down. They're going to tell you to bust into your emergency packets.
Oh, stop
And-
being so negative about the gondolas already.
Dude, you just
happened last night.
read a race.
Adam,
You got to take a dump. You'll be pooing in a blue bag. Kyle would.
You
No
got
shame.
He has.
Oh, who are we kidding? Kyle was just right there on the seat.
Yep.
He would go full Shanghai.
Well, I go in the sea. I got a perfect good water source right outside.
I don't think the door's open.
I can make it open.
I mean, they do. but-
MacGyver can make him.
Yeah, they have to open.
Well, I mean,
By the
no,
time,
they
by the
have
time
to.
he got back to the station, the doors would open up. They look around in his car, like, what the hell happened here?
It'd be like Eddie Murphy on Daddy Daycare when he goes into the
Painted
bathroom.
the walls.
He's just
He
like,
painted the walls.
Kyle gets off of it and goes, woo! Like Ace Ventura, do not go in there.
I need a beer.
Yeah, I need another beer. Okay, well, as we walk through the process, we've registered, we've picked up, we've shopped, we've prepared, we've pre-race pooped, we rode a bus.
See, I have other stuff that I do in the morning. So I have to have a cup of coffee.
Okay.
Yes.
Have to have.
See, I can't do that before a
I
race
gotta have my
because
chocolate milk.
if
have
I
to have
so
my
much
chocolate
as smell
Before a
coffee
race?
percolating, I shit.
No, I have to have a cup of coffee because it gets everything going, and I get that first shit of the morning out this way, and it's nice and early and done.
I can't do that.
And then for me, I have powders that I start mixing.
Your potions.
Yes, I
potions and lotions.
thank Kyle for introducing me to Redcon 1 because they actually taste super. They taste good. They work. I mean, you just gotta figure out what works best for you. Like anything else, they're not gonna hit your body. They're not gonna be the same for me. But like I know if I drink the one thing that the big box, the big bottle.
Cluster bomb.
Yes, I have to do that approximately an hour to an hour and a half before I start doing something, because that's when it starts hitting me. But some of the other ones, I'm gonna have one of each kind of on ready to go. So because you can use them while you're going.
Yeah. I use a cluster bomb during my running. I don't chug it. Just kind of sip it.
Okay.
Get a little carb boost. Redcon 1, Kyle, Facebook. Come check me out. But yeah.
Shameless plug. Shameless
Shameless plug.
I threw it at him. I did it on purpose.
No, yeah, but he knows he always have space
No,
to
but it's
plug it in.
I actually, the training runs that I've done with him, it works for me. I can't say that it doesn't.
I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah, like if your way works, awesome. Keep doing that. It works different for me, but it works. Some folks use these goos and shit. I can't do goos. That's
I
horrible.
can't. The goos don't work for me. I can't do the goos.
They work for me just in ways I don't want them to work for me.
The last time I got really bad stomach cramps, the last time I used them.
I use gummy bears and some kind of carb drink and those liquid IV stuff, liquid IV powders.
Mm-hmm.
Those are good for hangovers
and for running during a race.
Mm-hmm. But that's why I need something that I can put.
I like the energy beans.
I can't do it. No.
I like the energy beans too, but that's why I need something I can hold bottles in, and I can't find anything here because I don't necessarily like Powerade.
Yeah, especially Disney Powerade.
But
yeah, because they don't do like the pre-mixed shit. They mix it there with the powder, like it's fucking 99-cent Kool-Aid.
The other thing I say is eat something.
Yes.
Like a bagel, some protein.
Bagel with peanut butter.
Yeah, they got bagels at the race. They're not like $3.
Yeah, but you can get like a pack of bagels in your resort, and just this way while we're getting ready, you can eat there.
Bagel, and if you're going to run more than 3 hours, you got to eat something. Because you'll freaking die. Bagel and peanut butter.
For me, it's cream cheese. I can't have
you
peanut
need
butter.
Protein, you need carbs.
No, Adam can't do peanuts. I tried killing him several times.
Bagels and banana.
high in potassium, but I like a little bit of the cream cheese because I get a little more protein with it.
There you go.
Well, do you guys want to talk about the corral situation and what that's like?
Nope.
That's horrible.
It's just not fun. There's nothing good about the crowds.
No.
Nothing good about the crowds. There's nothing fun about crowds.
I'll put it like this, and I've only got one experience with what a corral is. But
you had a 5K corral.
I know, but what I'm saying is, when you hear the word corral, and if it makes you think of a bunch of cattle being herded into long pens,
That's exactly what it is.
That's it. I mean, you listen. Don't be bashful about neighbors because you are going to be skin to skin with people you don't know.
Oh no, you thought the 5K had to be the easiest corral experience I ever had. Because when you're talking about some of the other races, you want to talk about people literally almost trampling each other, try to get a little bit better placement in them.
It's horrible, man.
There's no good way to do it. It happens every any race. But I mean, and then the crowds have waves, and they're just not fun. The best way I can the crowds work through whatever letter they decide to extend to. This year it's going to H. For the half and the full, we don't know. The crowds have not been announced for the 10 and the 5. The last 5 that we did had 3 crowds. I think it was just A, B, C. It might have been D, but I don't remember.
No, I think you were right. I think it was just A, B, and C.
Because it's not really time, so they just let kind of people go in spurts. I do remember the last 5 that we ran that people were finished by the time we started.
Well, no, Star Wars, there ended up being no corrals because we got rained out.
No, but the one that we actually ran.
Yeah, one and done.
Yes. So
yeah, because now they got waves. There's a 7-minute gap between corrals, and then a 3-minute gap between waves. But you don't know what wave you're in until you walk up there and say, "Okay, stop here."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's why you try to get to as front as the corral that you can get.
Yeah.
There could be anywhere from 3 to 5 waves in your corral, depending on how many people are in it.
And I guarantee, if you're in the last corral, which is usually the biggest corral, you're gonna have at least 5. So if you are paranoid like I am, get your corral as soon as they open up the corrals. Get to it, get in front, and try to figure out where the exit is going to be to get to the race lane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because depending on how they line them up, it could be on the left side of the corral or it could be on the right side of the corral.
Or just be in the fucking center.
Yep.
But if you're in the center, you can't look to your left at your buddies and flick them off and throw shit at them.
Yep, pretty much.
Or laugh at them when they spill their
My dip cup.
dip cup bottle in their pocket.
I didn't spill it. It exploded in my pocket.
Oh, that's what it was.
And just when you start getting into these corrals, of course, you can tell because they've usually got like a light up globe that has the letter
obvious
on there, so it is pretty obvious. And you get to the pre-race stuff, and there's usually still a bunch of shit going on. Like Kyle said, they've got food and beverages out there for you to purchase because Disney's not going to shy away from making a buck. There's going to be probably some photo pass opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Characters will be out there before the race starts. They do have a DJ and some MCs and stuff like that. It's kind of a boosting it up for some high energy and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's counterproductive because it's just a whole lot of hurry up and wait. It's like going. It's like anything you've ever gotten done in the hospital. You wake up at 3 a.m. You get there, and you're still probably waiting an hour and a half later before you get to go.
Mm-hmm.
So just plan on that.
I mean, I want to mention real quick before I forget about the corrals is that it goes according to approximately when you plan on finishing the race. So the faster you are, the smaller your corral. So like if you're an elite runner, you're in A. If you're not quite elite, you're in B, and then it just goes down from there all the way down to H. So it's all about when you
catch 22. You want to get early. You want to get to your corral early to get a good spot, like Kyle was saying, to get released in an early wave. But at the same time, you really don't want to wait 3 hours in your corral before the race starts.
And you will wait 3 hours in your fucking corral.
Yeah, we've done it every time.
Yep.
So
that'll kill all the prep you put into yourself to get there.
No, because I mean, I like what I'm saying by prep though is I prep the powders to drink while I'm waiting.
Well, yeah, I mean, but if you like you got up and you stretched and you rolled and all that stuff.
Can still.
We'll normally get our group to form in a circle so that we have some room in the middle in case somebody wants to stretch and they can release a room. Because if you don't, then people will just pile in on you, and they'll sit on your feet if they can.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is that they do have like a hype man before they race. They didn't do this at the 5K really, but like for the longer races, they do have somebody who gets you jumping and moving and dancing in your corral most of the time before they want to make you cry.
Yeah,
you will cry.
All I gotta say, it's too early for that shit. I got DJ asshole up there singing Baby Shark to me. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Well, that was the worst.
That was horrible.
No, and then they make you cry.
Yeah, because then they'll give the kids the world commercial and
with Sarah
whatever
McLachlan singing in the background.
Yeah,
Sarah McLachlan.
That's all. And they strut a puppy on stage now.
I will remember you.
Well, Jeff Galloway's daughter-in-law is no longer doing it, right?
They fired a couple of them.
They fired both guys,
well,
I think.
She didn't get fired. I think she moved on to something else.
No.
Oh,
I think she moved on and they fired the other two.
They fired the other guy.
thank God. I mean, if you're listening, you're excellent, wherever you are.
I don't think he listens.
I don't think he listens either.
Yeah,
But
he's an
I mean,
asshole.
it's time to get something new in there too, I feel.
Yeah.
Because the last one that we ran, he really wasn't all that good.
No.
And it's the same style
Same jokes over
yeah.
and over again. Yeah. And when you listen to it for 3 days in a row, it gets boring.
I'm gonna go to the finish line. Thanks, asshole.
Thanks. I'm gonna drive there. Good job.
So, when they announce your wave to take off and you're running, I know there are lots of. I want to talk about PhotoPass again because there's a lot of PhotoPasses all along there. We've already discussed. You know, when you see the when you see the vest, or if it's rainy, you see the green booth that they're set up in. I guess it's like a bright green
Yeah,
pop-up
green,
canopy
yellow,
thing. Yeah.
And if it's a 10, you can actually see the lights.
Okay.
I mean the
Yeah.
5 because they're it's dark when you're running the 5, and those
Right.
those flashlights the flashes are super bright.
Yeah. And so we've already discussed that's when you put on the show run.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you get past, you go back to walking and talking and drinking
trying
your,
not to die.
your contraband alcohol.
It's not contraband. Wait,
That's what I'm saying. They didn't say you can't bring it.
They never said you can't bring it.
never
It might
know.
be some of people's prep. You don't know.
Fair enough. So while you're just enjoying some tea, on the race, what about character meets? Have you guys ever stopped?
Nope.
Nope.
Too paranoid.
Wow.
Too scared.
Well, I knew
stop.
Kyle was going to say no because I can already tell he's going to be
Never stop.
Okay.
sweating bullets this entire race right now. His ass is going to be so clenched up looking for
I
balloons.
want to say the last 10 that I ran by myself pretty much.
Yeah, you did. You passed us all.
Yeah. And
Hey, Adam. Hey, Adam. Hey, asshole.
I had my headphones on, and I was focused. So the last 10 I ran by myself. Towards the end, I had to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
So I get into the bathroom, I start peeing.
Oh.
And I never stopped looking at my watch. Because my watch is showing me my pace and my time, and I'm watching the time just go, and I'm peeing, and I'm like, are you done yet? Hey, I don't have time for this right now.
I thought you were going to say you were looking at your watch and you pissed all over the
I'm
porch.
just like, fuck, I'm still peeing. How am I still... Fuck, I'm still peeing. I'm gonna fall fucking behind. Fuck, I'm still peeing. That's all I was thinking about. I can't even imagine waiting online for a picture.
No.
And that's where they get you because they'll throw out some interesting photo opportunities on those runs.
Oh, yeah. Like, I think during marathon, there's some characters you don't see in the parks at all. Like,
See that? I'm fuck.
like Genie's out there. The Genie
I don't
is
need to hear that.
summer outfit.
I don't need to hear this.
I'm not stopping though. I am not stopping. I'll do my selfie with the mile markers. That's
Yeah.
about it.
Well, you guys will be doing Dopey, so obviously the characters are probably going to be centered around the fairy tales.
Well,
I mean, will it be only
I think
Snow
it's
White,
gonna
or will it be?
I think it's gonna be a lot of Goofy this time around, because I want to say it's the 15th anniversary of the Goofy Challenge this race.
Yeah, it is.
So I want to say this might be very Goofy centric. Might get some interesting characters based around him in his comics.
Wow.
I'm still running.
Okay.
I'm still running.
I'm still running too,
I hope they have some of the, because they will usually have some of the hard to find characters at the beginning of the race and at the end to take pictures.
So
with.
if Powerline is out there,
I will get a picture for you, Mike.
but no, don't get one for me. I've only seen it one time. Like Goofy Movie is not not a thing to me. I'm just
if they have Goofy dresses in his old football gear, I might have to get a picture with him if he's dressed like that. But I've never seen.
I'm not going to stop, but if it's before the race, I'll wait.
Yeah.
Now, in the Star Wars, the same characters at the beginning of the race are the same guys at the end of the race.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the same thing for the marathon?
I've never ran the marathon.
That's different.
Good question.
Comment below.
If you've run the marathon, yeah.
Well, I don't know. I've never ran anything more than a 5K, so I couldn't tell you about any of the characters.
I will stop for pictures this time around on the 5K because it's not really timed.
Right.
So if there's somebody that I see
legs.
that I really want to get a picture with during the 5, I'm going to stop this time.
And if you're more adventurous than I am or we are, usually the characters say this, like if you run the 5K, you have the characters out. The same characters be out there during the 5K, just the next part of the race. Again, they're the same characters the whole damn time. So you can pick and choose as you go through the race where you want to stop or plan your pictures out. But I'm too scared. I'm a dumbass. I'm going to run. I don't care who's out there.
Mm-hmm. The 5 I'm not worried about.
I'm too nervous. I'm too paranoid. I'm not going to stop.
Why do you guys spend this much money to put yourself through this emotional duress?
Because
so I can do this, so I can drink.
Well, it's not only that. I get a true sense of accomplishment at the end of these races.
Yeah.
It's not...
Thank you, Adam. I've been waiting for someone to say that. We've all said medals and bling and stuff.
Okay,
I do. You do get into accomplishment.
I'm not going to lie. I didn't think I was going to finish the Star Wars half. I sweated through all my stuff, so I ended up chafing because it was so hot. It was a very warm race. I literally was able to wring out the back of my shirt. I sweat so much. And this was supposed to be a moisture wicking shirt. So I was...
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
No.
So I was truly drenched. I sweat all the body glide off. I chafed between my legs. I had something go on with my pinky toe that I thought I broke it at one point. And I'm like, I'm not finishing this race. So me finishing this race, I was a bawling mess. I was crying. You see it in the fucking pictures that I will never show anyone. So,
is this the one of you walking in front of the spaceship Earth, contemplating all the decisions you've made in life?
that was the first half I ever ran. That was the first half I ever ran. Going, I'm almost done. I was getting excited at that point.
That was a one and done.
Yeah.
Okay.
This was something. I've never was like pushed that hard for some reason, and that when I trained for it, it fell apart on me.
I always get emotional when you cross that finish line, except for like the 5K, because I mean I do a 5K walking at work every day, but when you cross the finish line doing a 10K and a half, it's humbling.
Listen, I don't run. I'm not an active guy. I am very soft, and my dad bod is to the extreme. So, Tim, when you say you don't get excited for, finishing a 5K, to you, I say, no, I got very excited for finishing my 5K.
I do get excited for a 5K because it is still a thing you did. You're doing something that the people on the couch aren't doing. But when you do, we've done multiple 5Ks at this point. So for me, the challenge is now a half.
For me, for the most part, I pretty well kept pace with all you guys. On the 5K,
portion of the 5K.
No, I ran with Matt.
You did.
Well, yeah, you and Matt took off.
Matt tried to kill me.
Mikey was right behind you guys, and then it was me and James.
Matt tried to kill me.
I bounced, Tim. I bounced between you and James and Stephanie and Jen, and you and James and Stephanie, and I kind of floated back and forth, which is probably worse than actually keeping a consistent pace. But that's kind of what I did.
Intervals.
Yeah, that's. Bingo, bango, bongo.
Well, that was a weird 5K too because of that stupid switchback.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about. People were wiping their ass out right there, man.
Oh, I just remember seeing y'all on the switchback. Me and Matt were like, you guys were entering and we were leaving it.
Yeah, that was the last time we saw the race.
And then after the switchback, we passed Shan on his way to the switchback, I think. And well, okay. So we don't do photos, but when it's over. When it's over, though, you'll stop and get your picture in front of the wall.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
with your medal, and you show up your medal with your group, and
we'll get yelled at more people because we're waiting for people in the spot we're not supposed to wait for.
Yes, they do, boy. They don't fuck around, man. I think they have
keep flowing, keep moving.
The last race, they actually did it smart, and they had one outside of that area.
Yes.
I was going to say, they must have the same cast members who are taping down lines before a parade, getting your ass off the Main Street area, running that photo pass at the end of the races, because they don't take much shit off of you, at all. Yeah. They are.
Well, at this point, they also know they're still herding cattle, because they just this cattle's exhausted now, so they don't need to be as forceful as corrals.
True.
And even though most of them are cast members, they are volunteering to do this.
Yes.
They're not getting paid for this.
Really?
No.
Yeah. They're all volunteers.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
I'll be damned.
The people herding in the corrals, the people telling you which way to go are all volunteers.
Handing out the medals.
Handing out medals, handing out drinks and
your bananas.
I wasn't aware of that.
Yep.
That is.
I mean, you'll see the cast members that are working that day line up just to say.
Yeah, because they will have their name tag on.
Oh.
The ones that are actually working will have their name tag on.
Okay. So the ones
when
that
you
are
run into
just.
Epcot and you see the guys standing outside and they're waving to you and
Sure.
cheering you on.
Yeah.
In different languages, which is always fun to me.
Yeah, that was always
But
fun.
at the finish line, those are typically volunteers.
Finish line, the guys are handing you your water and your Powerade and your jelly beans. Those are all volunteers.
And your box of goodness.
Yeah, your box of goodness.
fake cheese.
So they're not only some of them are Disney cast members. Some of them they work for whatever charity Disney is sponsoring for that particular run.
Okay.
Or just local people that want to volunteer and sign up and help out.
The 501st shows up for the Star Wars races.
501st shows up for Star Wars.
And they're
when they're not making
be there.
when they're not filming episodes of
We're not filming
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian.
When they're not volunteering their time to make Jon Favreau all of his money.
Yeah.
Okay. So you mentioned the box. Do you want to go into the box about what's in it? Because that's my biggest takeaway.
Classic cheese.
It's been changing.
My big takeaway is eat everything that's in the box. They give it to you. It's not all good.
No.
I mean,
no.
Probably none of it is good for
is
you.
Fucking disgusting.
I eat that applesauce. I love there is not one thing
I give him the applesauce.
No, there was the pretzels. I didn't like the pretzels because they were the gluten-free pretzels and they were gross.
I like them.
Dip them in the cheese, man.
Oh, I just eat the cheese with my finger. I don't need.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm
Listen,
that guy.
You finish the race. You get this little bitty miniature shoebox that says "Run Disney" all over it, and you open it up, and it's just a really small assortment of snacks. Yeah,
It's about that size.
Yep, it's about that size. If anybody could see what Kyle held up, it's that big.
It's
about 3 inches by 9 inches.
Yeah. Okay, Adam's got one too. It's about the size of a Macintosh keyboard.
Yes, without the keypad. Without the number pad.
I would say probably a little deeper. And like I said, it's going to have just a small assortment
of random snacks.
Of bullshit that you can eat, okay?
Yeah.
There's going to be some applesauce. There's probably going to be some type of a granola analog item in there.
Yeah, which is horrible. I throw that out right away.
Yeah. No,
whatever.
just
eat it. And then I'm the human garbage disposal because whatever Tim doesn't eat and whatever anybody else doesn't eat, I end up eating.
Absolutely.
Because I'm starving.
Listen, I only ran the 5K. I think I had like whatever else they were giving away, and I think I ate someone else's. So I can only imagine if you run like 10, a half, and a full.
The only problem is towards the third day you don't want the box anymore. I realized that because during the half I'm like I don't want any of this. I want real food.
No, you don't want it, but damn it, your body needs it between, on the bus ride back because, and you get this little bitty package of maybe it's pretzels, maybe it's a small package of like tiny round tortilla chips.
Well, you'll get both.
Oh, you will? Okay. And you get this.
Well, it's been in the past. You get both.
You get a cup of cheese. Not even cheese. It's not cheese.
It's not cheese. It's plastic.
Yeah.
But it's plastic cheese from Pecos Bills.
It's great cheese.
R.I.P.
It's the best thing in the box. So fucking dip your.
Yeah, and you'll get the applesauce and a Go-Gurt.
No, but you forgot all the best parts about running the long races.
I didn't run one, so I don't think I forgot.
But you were there at the end with the beer cart.
Yeah, the beer.
Yeah.
And they have a food truck, and you can also sometimes pick up some of the stuff that they were selling at the expo center.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll have a little tent for.
Right. Well, they got a lot of tents. You're right. I was at the end of the 10K, and there are lots of tents, a lot of medical tents, because apparently people don't always do so well.
Well, it's not the medical tents. It's not at that point. It's more recovery tent is the best way because they'll wrap your legs in ice if you want. They'll have biofreeze. They'll have stuff there. It's not so much
KT tapes. They'll have massage tents. Yeah. it's more of a recovery type thing than a, oh shit, you fucked up, you need help.
Okay, well, where are those tents? Because if I was to do a 10K, I
Those
need
are
one
all
by
on
my
the race
6K.
course?
Yes. Those are all
on the race
I was
course.
stopping at every single one of them during the Star Wars using Vaseline.
Yeah,
I
there
feel-
are first aid tents all on the race course.
And I'm probably going to break down in between them.
No, you'll be fine.
And then,
Right.
well, I'm
But they do have-
Adam, I'm not doing it again.
Yeah, that's why you're going to do the 10 next time.
Nope.
They
I don't
do
count
have
past
first
5.
aid people on bikes patrolling the course. So
If
you
you're
happen
in
to-
trouble, somebody will get you.
yeah, somebody's there. To
And
help.
if you're close to balloon ladies, they will let you know.
Yes.
I'm
Okay,
afraid.
yeah.
I've never
We
been
already-
close to the balloon ladies.
We've already
Well,
completed
never-
the
We've heard
race.
stories. I've never been close to the balloon ladies.
We
I
didn't
have.
discuss the balloon ladies. Now, here's a myth, I think. The balloon ladies aren't really the back
That's correct.
of the pack.
They're not.
They're not.
They're not official. They're not the
So
official.
you can be swallowed by a balloon lady, which sounds both.
Intriguing and horrible at the same time.
I'm uncomfortable and aroused.
and you can keep going afterwards.
Well, yes and no, because if you stay behind the balloon ladies for too long, you will get swept.
Yes.
But you can catch up to the balloon ladies
You
again.
can catch up to the balloon ladies.
If you pace yourself with the balloon ladies and you're able to stay with them, you're golden.
Right.
You
They're
will
more
not
of a
get
guide.
swept. Yes.
They're more of a
Yes.
suggestion.
They're more of, you better move because the sweeper's coming behind us.
Yeah, I heard an interview with them on another podcast, and they said, it's like, yeah, we don't keep 60-minute pace.
No.
We keep the pace we can.
Mm-hmm.
And no, they don't get swept because they're actual part of a running group. They won't get swept. But yeah, it's like they said, we're more suggestion. Run your race and don't count on us completely.
But if you're with them, you won't get swept.
Right.
So if you can keep it, even if you fall that far behind and you can keep, that's all you got is that 16-minute pace at that point, stay with them.
Yeah.
From what I understand, they are so motivating and helpful that they will try to get you to keep going with them as much as they can.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the thing about the Disney races. There are people to talk to.
Yep.
There are people who will motivate you. If they see you're struggling, they are going to try and help. Whether it's just an ear at that point or just somebody to give you that little extra oomph.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll say, even for my brief experience in the 5K, which was almost entirely through Animal. Well, I mean, it was entirely through Animal Kingdom.
Mostly.
it was.
Yeah, and a little backstage, but
A little backstage.
you talk about motivation. When you are on stage, I would say, within Disney, and there are cast members clocked in, and they're waving to you, and they are cheering you on, and God love those guys because they're shouting the same words of encouragement for 3 hours at people when they run by, but they want you to succeed, and you really feel it, and that in and of itself is real encouraging. You know, and they're waving and they're wanting you to wave back at them, and it just builds you up a little bit. And then you go backstage and it's just a whole bunch of bullshit, and there's a switchback, and you just, you know.
See, but
Anyway,
Mike, you've never done a full race, like a longer race.
No.
It gets so much more, especially when you run through the boardwalk area
the rape bridge.
Right,
after the bridge.
Well,
when
that's
you're
all-
actually
that is-
running,
yeah, when you're actually on the boardwalk.
when you're actually on the boardwalk, when you're actually, and people are just out there, like, and these
Okay,
are not
yeah.
cast members. These
They're
are not
vacationers.
anybody paid to be there by Disney. These are vacationers. These are people who are just holding signs and cheering you on. I mean, Steph had that great story about there was a lady who just had all the candy laid out because she was feeling a little bit of a sugar crash and she needed something to get her through, and she got that ring pop
ring
that
pop,
helped her
yeah.
through that race. There are all these people who are there to support you and kind of edge you on. I mean, I bawled when I ran into Shan. After I
Yeah,
ran
Shan
past
Anthony
him,
went
I was
down by the
crying.
river.
I was a mess because it just
down
means
there
that
cheering
much
us
when
on.
people are out there supporting you.
One of the best stories that I experienced on one of the runs, I don't think it was the half. I think it was the 10K for, it might have been the half for Wine and Dine. I was literally right behind this girl, and she was ready to give up. We were just leaving Epcot. We were maybe a half a mile to the finish line, and she was ready to crash. I mean, her legs were all KT'd up, and she was just ready to give up. And a state trooper that was along the course cheering people on, he saw her. And he just literally ran up to her and grabbed her by the arm. He said, "Come on, princess, you got this." And he grabbed her by the arm, and they ran together the last half mile. He ran with her and made sure she crossed that finish line.
So
That was amazing.
Really,
to see.
That last bit is always where everybody struggles. It's finding that motivation, and that's why it's so important. Even if you're not participating, you just happen to be down there for a race weekend. Just go to Boardwalk and cheer these people on. You might see somebody you know, but it means so we'll never be able to thank you individually because we don't know your names sometimes.
Or if you're in Epcot, if you're in the park and you happen to walk across the course, stay for a minute and cheer a couple people on.
But we'll never be able to thank you. We'll never know your names. But you have no idea how much that little bit of extra support means.
Yeah.
So pack a cowbell.
Pack a cowbell. Make a sign.
Make a sign. Some of the best things are the signs because people are so creative with them and they're so hilarious.
Yes, they are. And you know what? If you can find it in yourself to laugh, I think when you're going through stuff, because when you're doing that half or the full, and because that is it's less you versus the course than I think it's you versus you.
Yep.
Okay. It's all you versus running is you versus
all
you.
you versus you.
And if you can find it in yourself to find laughter, then you've got plenty left in the tank. Or it's like Monsters Inc. It fills you up a little bit, maybe.
That's
exactly
instead
of
it.
scream.
You forget about the pain. You forget about where you are at that moment.
It has nothing to do with me feeling empty at that point. It has much more to do with somebody being able to put a smile on my face.
And if you're running beside someone else and they start laughing, and maybe you can exchange 2 or 3 words about that sign or whatever, and you both end up with a smile, and then it spreads. It's infectious, okay? It's like a plague of humor.
That sounds dangerous.
It does sound dangerous, but you do not want an anecdote from it. You just want to keep it up. You just want everybody to be in a good mood and laughing. So, I'm not going to be down there, but if I was, I would make a sign, and it would be something witty and probably, irreverent.
And slightly inappropriate.
Just slightly, so he wouldn't get in trouble there.
Well, I'd probably go all the way. It would probably reference Epstein, to be honest with you. I would find some way of making a sign. But, okay, well, guys, do you want to talk about some of the questions that we solicited from
Let's do this.
Members
Hopefully
in,
we
again,
have some answers.
both our Facebook group and our activity group. I'll run through them, and you guys, if you got a good answer, just jump in. This is going to be real laid back.
Can I throw something in before I do questions?
Sure.
If y'all worry about pacing and stuff and getting swept, once you make it to Epcot, you're safe. You will not get swept in Epcot.
From what I heard, that might be changing.
Because the buses can't pick you up.
Oh yeah. Well, you have to be in Epcot though. It used to be Boardwalk.
Yeah.
Now it's Epcot.
Now it's in Epcot.
Yes. You make it into wherever the park is. If you make it into the park, the last bit, which is 3 miles in the parks?
Well, depending on the race, it might be a mile and a half or 3 miles.
Yeah.
For the full is a mile and a half. 3 miles.
I mean, don't slack off and be a lazy ass, but just you know you're safe. You got extra stress off you, and keep on going.
And that extra stress coming off of you can make all the difference. Like,
yes, sir.
Adam's like, yeah,
without a doubt. Once I'm in Epcot, I'm like, fuck it, don't care anymore. I can finish this.
You can stop. You can breathe. You can piss without watching your.
You can grab a beer,
timepiece.
Yes, 2.
You can hop on Spaceship Earth.
Like double parked.
Well, by the time I'm in Epcot, the cava should be open and give me a margarita on the way.
Ooh.
Hit up the Joy of Tea and get that tipsy
if you're gonna
ducks
do that,
in
bring
love.
cash or bring your magic band.
No, bring cash. You don't want to wait to fuck with your magic band. Bring cash. This way,
But
if
you
you
gotta
want to
get
tip,
change.
you know what? You can throw whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Got
Drink
you.
is $15.
Here's
Keep
20,
the
give me-
change, and I'm moving. I just need my drink. Let's go.
Magic band, cash tip, give me my shit. Let's go.
Yep.
I think what you're saying is you keep talking about the margarita. I really think the Les Gens is where you want to be.
No, because you don't run by there sometimes.
Oh, okay. Well, I wouldn't know.
And I don't think that will be open. I don't think those booths will be open.
Some of it will be open, some of it won't.
Don't they have a breakfast
No, by
booth
1
in France
o'clock,
now?
everything should be open. By the time we're finishing, it should be open.
Yes.
Yeah.
And by the time I finish, the damn park will be closed.
Epcot Forever will be going off.
We have ceased
Shit, are you
operating
kidding
hours
me?
for today.
By the time I finish, it's going to be called Harmonious. Okay?
It'll go back to fucking Illumination.
Yeah.
It'll be the November sheet up. It'll be fine.
Exactly. I won't finish. I'll make it as far as the island in Italy.
Yeah.
All right. So some listener. I'm gonna do I say fuck it? I'm gonna say listener questions like we've got those. Some listener questions. Casey Foley says, "Why do I keep signing up for this shit?" And I guess
we're idiots.
We covered
bling,
that, I
right?
think.
Yeah, the bling, a sense of accomplishment, running with other people that you know, which that's a lot too. Is if you're in a group, then you've got some built-in motivation right there at the beginning,
and it's the way you support each other too.
Exactly.
The more of us that are on the course, the more we can see somebody struggling and say, "Hey, what do you need from me? How can I help you?"
Yeah, because we finished the last half. It was Adam, myself, the Trossels, and the the one Nam dude, because Jen PR'd for that race. So James was with us, and somebody else was with us too. I don't know who it was. Yeah, Kyle was there, and there was somebody else. A girl, one of the girls. I don't remember who it was though. But yeah, we all finished strong. We finished together the half.
Brian Fabiano, which has one of the coolest names in our group, I think.
So
because it's Brian with a Y even.
Yes.
He says, we're doing our first race in April. What would be something we should do or avoid as first-timers that we have had to learn the hard way?
Don't get stupid the night before.
Yeah. And don't kill yourselves in the parks.
Don't get in your head. If you're going to go...
Don't get in your head.
If you're going to go do a parks, don't go there all night or all day. Go do a lap, ride a ride, get back. Save your legs.
Yeah, don't expect to be in the parks. The worst thing we did was we did a hard park day before that first 10, and we screwed ourselves over.
And, I did a challenge in April last time. I think I did my 10K and I think I went to Epcot, but throughout the whole day I went 23 miles with the 10K and the walking, and my half marathon was not very good. So just rest up.
I would also say don't worry about where you finish, just aim to finish.
Yes.
That's how I run all my races at this point. I don't care whether I don't need to be first. I can be last, but as long as I finish, I did it.
Yeah, you say this is your first race, Brian, so you're probably not starting in Corral A. Just go and have a good time with it, because if you go, you can have a good time on these races if you go in there with that mindset. Yeah, if you do like the half or the full, or for me it would have been the 10 had I felt I could
Mikey,
do that.
Did you say you were going to do a 10?
I really didn't. Like I specifically said would have been. Would have been.
Come on, you could do a 10, Mikey.
Denotes not doing a 10.
I would do a 10 with you, Mikey.
I'm blind in one eye. I can just count to 5.
That's a lie.
So just have a good time with it, and yeah, like they've said, don't get stupid the night before. Just ask my wife. The night before the 5K, she very stupid.
All got stupid the night before the 5K.
Yeah, but I mean, she was wearing cheese on her face.
But if you are going to get stupid, do it the 5K night.
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Kelly Curvin asks, she says, I'd like to know which Run Disney race would you recommend as a first one? A 5K, any 5K, any 5K.
Yeah, that's personal too, because I mean, are you a Star Wars fan? If you're a Star Wars fan, then start with Star Wars. If you're a Princess fan, start with Princess. It's subjective.
I mean, the other thing I can say on this aspect is most of your races are run during the weekend. So if you're looking at like weekend and peak times and all this other stuff, April might not be the best time to run due to where it falls. Wine and Dine might not be the best time to run. I would probably recommend this one, the marathon weekend, because just for the simple reason, it's run on Thursday. The first 5K is run on Thursday. You can have a vacation at the end and have a vacation at the beginning. And this way you're not so pressed that, it's midweek. So if it's something that you just want to sample, I would always recommend start with a 5 if you're not used to running. If you think you could do a 5 and you have no problem doing a 5, then I would jump up to the 10. But other than that, I would not start on a half, and I definitely would not start on the full.
I want to jump in real quick as well and say, check your resort, because resorts sometimes have fun runs. It doesn't have to be during a race weekend of any kind. A lot of resorts will have a little fun run. Maybe it's just like 3 kilometers or, you know, whatever it is. And sign up for one of those. I think it's like, what, $20 usually?
It depends on the one.
Give or take, yeah.
Something like that.
There's different price. There's no set price for them, from what I'm understanding.
The bling isn't as good, but I know.
Yeah, it's a rubber medal. I think.
Yeah, Stephanie did the one out at Port Orleans, and you got beignets and the medal at the end.
There you go.
Yeah. She did it with Jen, right?
Yeah, she did with Jen. I think if you get some bling and a medal for $20, you're coming out ahead.
Yeah.
There's also the races on the cruise ships. Mm-hmm. The Castaway K5.
I will, if there is I will be doing a 5K at Castaway if there's one going.
There is, Mikey.
I will be doing it because those don't cost any extra to do, correct?
I don't know.
I don't think they do. I've heard they don't.
Doing the
challenge, so everything costs when you do a challenge.
Yeah. I don't challenge myself.
We added the Castaway Key Challenge to Dopey.
So what is it? It's like 13 medals, 14 medals. It's something ridiculous.
I think the total is 13 medals, I think.
I told Stephanie the next
weekend, if we finish.
I told her the next 5K I'm going to run. I'm not running another until we go to Castaway Key.
All right,
not
so that
expecting
means
to go to Castaway
Key. So it's a 5. Then... So does that mean you're 1 to 10 instead?
No, I'm not doing 2 of them. I'm just doing 1. I'm doing 1. There seems to be this inability to communicate here. A failure to communicate. No.
You understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Right?
No, but I can twist them as much as I want to.
Oh, you can twist. You can twist them like they're my dinner plate nipples. You ain't getting what you want out of them.
You don't know what I like.
Chad Duncan asks, for those of us in no shape to be running, and I raise my hand. Kyle says, that's me. He says, can it be done? And I'm pretty sure, yeah, absolutely it can. I mean, it depends on how, I think, optimistic you are in your abilities.
Yeah, I don't even think it's that. I think you don't realize what you're capable of until you try.
Mm-hmm.
And when you really look at it, if you don't really slam yourself, a 16-minute mile is really not hard.
It's not hard.
No, that's just a leisurely walk.
It's a fast walk.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I probably wouldn't, go out for the Dopey Challenge my first time.
But what would you do for your first time besides a 5?
A 5? Or a fun run.
It was almost there. I was almost there. I thought I had him for a hot second.
No! Chad, I am in no shape to be walking the parks. And a 5K is not even really
it's 3 miles.
It's not a competitive event, so even the people around you aren't taking it super seriously. If you can get a 5K that runs through Animal Kingdom, that's really a lot of fun. I thought, because if it happens early, you get to go through Pandora and you can see Pandora lit up in its glory at night, and then you're going to trip over everything else. So Animal Kingdom's fun. Watch the switchback. It's wet. You'll fall.
I do say, I would say try.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would absolutely try. The
Train,
5K,
then try.
not the 10.
If worse comes to worse, you can. If you tried, you've done more than half the people you've ever spoken to.
Yeah.
Do or do not.
No,
there is no try.
No, in this situation, there's
try.
There is. I'd much prefer not to finish than not to start.
Yeah.
Failure to start hurts a lot more.
Do not start is worse than a do not finish.
Yes. Because a do not finish means you put in effort.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough, I guess. Chad, there's your answer.
The answer's
Kirsten
yes.
McGuire, she wants to know, since they've changed from Race Retreat to Runner Square, do we have any info on that yet?
We do not. This is the first year they're doing it.
It's sold out anyway.
It's sold out, and I can't tell you, so I'm sorry.
But hey, Kirsten, good on you for thinking, hey, I'm going to get a tent and a private pot.
If you do end up doing it, please post pictures, and please feel free to tell us about your experience there, though.
Yes. That's not really something that most of us get into. We just want to get out of the race when we finish it. Give me the bus, give me a beer, give me a
that's it.
Josephine, go. I really want to know the absolute latest I need to leave my hotel. She says she's got decent corral placing. She runs alone and hates waiting for 2 hours when she's by herself. And she's kind of afraid the buses are going to stop running if she doesn't get up at like 3:30.
3:30.
Josephine, get up at 3:30.
No, she's not on the bus.
She'll miss
by
the bus by
3:30.
3:30.
Okay.
They will tell you when the last bus leaves. I can't tell you what that is.
5K, 3:30 to 5. Every day is 5 except for marathon's 4:30.
The last bus is at 5?
In the AM.
No, in the morning? That late?
That's what this website says.
I would check, because I want to say...
They'll have signs in your resort
Yes.
all weekend long to tell you what day and what times the bus is.
Because I want to say the buses only run for a half hour.
Yeah.
No, they're like an hour. They're usually an hour.
I want to say the last bus that we ran a few times, the last bus was at 4. The last few times.
Yeah, the buses started at 3.
3:30.
I remember it being 3.
The half was 3.
There'll be signs.
The half
There'll be
was
signs to
3,
tell you.
but all the other ones were 3:30, and I want to say they only run for about a half hour. So, I mean, I'm sure there's a way to get yourself there. You can also Uber or whatever else, but just be prepared that there are a lot of people thinking like you.
Yes.
And you still, if you have a bag to check, if you have any kind of item that you might need to check, a lot of us are going to be down. Try to meet up with somebody, kill the time with. If you're not worried about placement, there are a few elite runners in our group that are not too worried about this either.
Yeah.
So, I think we have somebody running every single race for next year already. So meet up with somebody is my best advice.
Yeah, you can't avoid the wait, unfortunately.
And
Unless
don't
you're an
try
A.
Don't try to get yourself in the last bus coming out of your resort to get there, because
Get on the first
again,
bus.
You're talking about third-party bus drivers that may not know the routes, and that last scheduled bus may never show up because it was actually there 10 minutes ahead of time.
And
so, I mean, just
Get on the bus as early as you can.
my other thing with this, and I don't know how this works, but let's say if you're in an early corral, that doesn't mean that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to let you into the next corral going. So let's say if you're in corral B and you show up when corral F was going up. Well, you might actually be pushed to G because they already let all of corral F go through up to the... So, I mean, you're taking a chance.
and you've got money invested in this for your placement. So,
like I said,
on the side of
there are a
caution
bunch
is
of us
all
who
I
are going
can
to be
say.
there. Reach out to us on the running group.
And if you're a corral, how it works, if you're in corral B, you can go anywhere from B on down to any corral you want to. Mm-hmm. So you find some friends in C or D, go join them. You just can't go up.
Correct.
Good answers. John R. Gambaro, who I'm just going to go on record and call him the Machine, because he lost both of his legs in a tragic accident on the sidewalks of New York City, and still completed.
He did not lose his
He
leg.
did
Well,
not. I do not know any. No.
He broke his leg.
He has had every joint in his body reconstructed, it sounds like. I mean,
Yes,
the guy...
that I can kind of agree
almost.
with.
Listen, John, I love you. Boston loves you. You're a hell of a guy. Brother, you got nothing to prove to anybody. Just be you. Just do you, all right? He wants to know, speaking of legs, how do I stop leg cramps on long-distance races?
Okay, so
I wish I knew.
I did some research because I saw this question pop up. And
Don't
it's a
do the
question
long-distance
that-
races. That's how you stop them.
No, I actually did some research, and from what I'm reading, start with a jog. You might not be warming up long enough, so start with a jog, 5 to 10 minute jog into your long race. Watch your dehydration levels and your electrolyte levels. It's extremely important. There's no real connection with the electrolyte from what I'm reading scientifically, but it's proven that dehydration causes quicker muscle fatigue. And they're saying you should have something to drink approximately every 20 minutes, whether you're thirsty or not. During this race, that might not be possible, so that means maybe carrying an additional water bottle. Muscle fatigue is a thing, so in order to try to prevent as much as that, is pace properly. if you pace properly, you might have a little bit less of that fatigue on your legs. If you've already mid-cramp or it's too late, try to stretch. Pull yourself over to the side, find a tree, do a tree stretch, try to stretch out whatever muscle's hurting. Depending on which muscle it is, because if it's a calf, you definitely need the tree, but if it's your thigh, you can probably just pull that leg behind you and just hold it for a little bit. Try to get that muscle to release. Walk run is, again, you're not burning yourself out. If you're starting to feel that pain, maybe extend that walk for another session. Try to walk it out. Don't push yourself. Like, the thing is, a lot of people, and I know I am king of this, I get caught up in the momentum. I get overly excited and I just want to go. That eventually will lead to me pushing myself maybe a little too hard and causing some other issues. It also could depend on shoes. Get fitted for actual running shoes. Go to somebody who knows what they're doing. Try to land more on the middle of your foot than on the toes, because you're hyperextending if you're landing on your toes, and that'll cause more stress to your calf. And that's where most people get their stuff from. So try to land midfoot to heel. Midfoot is ideal, though. And that's all I got for you.
And if you're concerned about what your stride is like, just go back and watch the world recorder Jeff Goldblum on Disney Plus. He has a whole thing about sneakers, and he bops when he runs.
Yeah.
He bops.
But bopping is very bad.
Yes.
Yeah, bopping is not good.
Yeah.
Because
According
bopping
to
will
Adidas.
fatigue your legs awfully.
Listen to your body. If you're doing intervals, take extra walk breaks. If you are running the whole way, it's no shame to take a walk break here and there. Electrolytes, some kind of Gatorade, lots of water.
Do not pass up a water station.
Do not pass up. For me, I bring a case of water down every race, and I'm drinking nothing but water between races. A beer here and there, but
Beer is water.
I'm pissing clear. So
In Epcot.
yeah.
Just to bring up something you said about hydration again. If you are feeling thirsty, it's too late.
Yeah.
And that's what everything I'm reading. If you are starting to feel thirsty and you're waiting to feel thirsty to grab something to drink, you are waiting too long.
That's a very good tip, I think.
Drink whenever you see a water station. Like I said, every 20 minutes is the ideal during a long race. So, and if you're a little bit slower, you might not be hitting that water station every 20 minutes. So grab two. Do whatever you do to just keep yourself hydrated.
Pickle juice.
Picklebacks. Oh, no, that's no.
Nope, Adam, nope.
That means tequila shots.
Nope. Pickle juice is great for cramps and muscle fatigue.
Yes, it has a lot of sodium.
And iron.
Sodium. They also recommend salt shots. I don't think I could ever do this. But basically what a salt shot is actually taking like one of those little restaurant salt packets,
Oh,
Nope.
I've seen that.
Nope.
shooting it down your mouth and following it with water. There's no way I'm doing that.
You just gotta find you a more higher quality electrolyte drink than Powerade or Gatorade, and who's got a whole lot more sodium levels than those two.
Because you can have a high sodium drink that doesn't taste like salt water.
Again,
It's
liquid
out there.
IV. It's salty, but it's still good.
Yeah, I prefer the passion fruit on liquid IV. I usually drink one of those even before I get on the bus.
Yeah.
Joshua Adam asks, is there any chance they're going to bring back the 10 p.m. start to Wine and Dine half? I don't think so.
No.
So either.
No.
The only time I can ever see this happening is if they ever stop doing road construction at night, and I don't see it ever happening.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
the Disney's in such a state of flux right now with all the construction and additions and stuff and new resorts going up. No, they're going to keep the quid pro quo they got going right now.
I want to tack on a question to this. Do y'all think that we're ever going to get California races back again?
Eventually.
No.
There's a rumor that they were once once Galaxy's Edge was built over there, and they figured out whatever they were doing with Downtown Disney. But there's been no definite answer yet.
Fair
I don't think they don't have enough support from the local community for it.
Well, yeah, because a lot of the race runs through the streets.
Yeah.
And I still see they're doing the virtual again this year, so.
Yeah, and don't piss the
so that
mayor
might
off.
be done in California.
Andy Rudolph. That's a runner name I remember from the finish line.
He's one of our elite runners.
Yes.
He
why'd
wants
you
to
ask
know
those
how many
questions?
shooters are going to be down there. What kind of shooter assemble
geez.
population will there be?
Officially on the sign-up sheet, there's 25.
And that's not
Nice.
counting people just going down to support. There are a bunch of people who are going to be there supporting a lot of the runners. There's a lot of people who live local that aren't runners who are going to be there just to see us. So there's a pretty good contingency. Contingent? Nope, we won't use the wrong word. Keep on drinking, Adam. Tequila is good.
Tequila is good. It doesn't do anything for me, though.
I know, I heard.
Constituency.
I don't think that's right either.
Nope.
No, I don't think that's right either, because they're not our voters.
No,
but there is 25 people that are signed up for at least one or more race. So,
next question from some asshole named Kyle Ostrander. Can anyone smuggle mini bottles into the starting area for us?
I think we can do that ourselves.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have a bag, you can walk right through. You don't check it.
Yeah, they don't
give a
stop
shit.
you. Even if you're wearing a race belt, they don't care what you're putting in those patches.
Yeah, I wear a race belt. You can put a couple airline bottles in a race belt.
Listen, if you can relax well enough, you can probably get, a 1 liter in.
This is true.
The prison wallet.
If you got a hoodie on, go to Walmart, get you a $5 hoodie, right in the pocket.
They got Publix down there.
They got what?
Or well, if you're doing a 5K and you don't care about carrying a camel pack, just fill a camel pack with some.
Nope.
No,
but then you got to share it then.
Trashed.
Yeah, that's true.
I sweat way too much to wear anything on my back when I'm running.
I'm wearing one for the full.
I want to get that belt.
James said he was too, but I don't know. I don't.
Liz,
I might just try to get one of the bottle holster belts.
the holsters. Liz Schaefer. Are there any tips for nutrition on the race course, and what would be your favorite options? I assume I assume she means before the race.
For the longer races, from what I understand, there will be some snack spots like bananas and stuff during the full. I have not seen anything beside on the half was sports beans.
Yes.
Other than that, I don't remember seeing food.
If it's free, take it.
If it's either sports beans or Cliff Gels or Goose.
Yes.
Whoever's sponsoring that year is going to have a thing out there.
Historically, from what I heard, for the full, there's chocolate stations, there's banana stations.
Chocolate's really good. Has a lot of antioxidants in it, so. But I can't picture running with chocolate because I just feel like going up in my mouth.
I always work out with chocolate.
After.
Pop drinks his chocolate milk.
After, well, I drink my chocolate milk after, but before I have a chocolate energy bar.
Now, okay, so before a race, you guys were talking about night before, you're wanting to carb load. Just in case she means before, like a long race, you guys are going to do pasta, Tim and Adam?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Kyle, are you carbing up with,
I'm carbing. Now, there's been I've been doing some research, as Adam does research, is don't just carb load the night before.
Yes.
Take that week to carb load. So don't eat like the 2 pounds of spaghetti the night before. Have a cup or two. Have a cup throughout the week. Build that carb up. What's that word? Lactose. I forgot the word.
Lactose. It's the sugars. It's the stuff that break. Carbs break down into lactose, which actually breaks down into energy. So the more it's like anything else, you don't want to shock your system.
That's why you drink water the whole week. That's why you drink Gatorade or electrolytes.
Yep.
Don't wait till the day before to do this stuff. Get your body built up and have some reserves.
That's right. Like even all the drinks that I have and the Redcon 1 drinks, they actually say to drink it consistently. I am not that disciplined and I don't exercise like I should.
Yeah.
But starting probably tomorrow, because my first race is on Thursday of next week, I'm going to start drinking some of the maintaining ones at least once a day.
If you don't like pasta, taters are good for it. Sweet taters are good for it. Any kind of starchy root vegetable. What's wrong with taters there?
Nothing. I'm loving it. I'm loving you said taters. I'm loving the shit out of it. And then you said sweet taters, which I'm just like, oh shit, he went there.
Well,
he just spilled his south right all over the table.
He did.
Stay away from bread
right out of his mouth.
Well, you can see the white trash trying to build in right here.
I do. It's coming in nicely.
Right here.
It's coming in nicely.
I would stay away from bread, white bread.
Yes.
Wheat bread is a little bit better because it's a little bit harder for your body to. Your body doesn't break it down quite as quick.
Mm-hmm.
I love all bread.
I know,
So
but
I do.
For loading, bread is a little too porous sometimes.
Yeah,
too, so.
and if you don't want to do white pasta the whole time, do like a half and half of white and wheat pasta.
Mm-hmm.
Works good. Yeah, I know food, so
What you're saying is, don't be one of them hippy dippies and go with like a cauliflower pasta or like a fucking spaghetti squash
You
pasta.
can't be keto and run.
No.
So
You're not going to get the energy you need to run if you do keto.
Do not eat a salad before night before a race. You will pay for it dearly the next day.
We're talking about the pooping?
I mean, it ain't pooping. It's like freaking, World War III going on down there.
No energy in salad.
Oh, so it's like shitting through a screen door, not touching the...
Again, you have to be careful with the salad thing, because salad's good for recovery, though. Because especially with the beta-carotenes and all that, you're going to want some of that leafy green a little bit just to flush out whatever you got going on from...
Yeah, like right after the race. But, don't make that your meal beforehand.
No. It cannot be a meal before a race. There's not enough carbs. There's not enough anything in salad. It's just to get you to clean out. So, after the race, good.
Okay. Now, what if I cover it in blue cheese dressing? Is that still good for recovery?
I do not want to run behind you.
No, this is recovery. This is recovery.
Recovery.
Yeah.
Oh, listen. Castaway.
Dude, I sat in a car
You'll run
with
behind me, Castaway, because I'm going to have some blue cheese on my salad.
That's
When
where your children are
you've
involved.
done a half marathon, anything you eat is good for recovery because you can eat whatever the fuck you want at that point.
It's true.
All right, next questions here. Christina Forrest, God love you. You hit us with a lightning round of questions.
Oh my god.
She wants to know about the cost on a Run Disney, and that does that vary? I think it does vary. Yeah, depending on the event. It's not cheap. It's not cheap.
No,
just know that. Listen, your local 4th of July 5K is going to be a hell of a lot cheaper than your Run Disney event.
Depends on where you live.
Yeah.
It really depends on where you live, because there are some races that are for not as expensive, more expensive than some of these.
Well, I'm $20 where I live.
Depends on where you live. I mean, the first 5 that we ran was a color one. I want to say that was $50, and that was a 5.
Yeah.
So it really depends on the race and what you're used to and how much you're willing to pay.
And Adam paid $20 to run like 1 mile in the rain and the mud.
I didn't really run. We walked.
Yep, pretty much. That was
no,
rough.
we kept it. But I was curious and I checked my watch. We kept about a 15-minute pace.
And that was cross country. That was like cross fucking.
That was cross country in the mud.
In jeans.
In a field.
In jeans, because I only brought shorts and it was like 30 degrees.
Yep. Listen. We talked about. I participated. I did not run. I was a zombie on this zombie run because it was around Halloween. It was really bad weather, and I walked out of the sole of my boots. The soles of my boots. I walked out of the soles of my boots. They fell apart.
They both cracked and fell apart. It was kind of awesome.
No
it was
bueno.
A mess.
And Christina's next question: are park tickets required not to run?
Nope.
Not to run.
If you want to go to the park after the race, then yes. And what's the difference between a dopey, a princess, a wine and dine? It's the theming for the most part.
Well, no. Well, you have to be careful with this one, because dopey is actually a challenge. So if you run all the races, dopey is the challenge. The actual event is called Marathon Weekend. So we've been talking a lot about dopey, but the actual group of races in this situation is called Marathon Weekend. Princess is another group of races. Wine and dine is another group of races. Difference is theming. Difference is course. Every course, every year, it almost changes a little bit. Certain races always run through Magic Kingdom. Those are your Princess and your Marathon Weekend races. Majority of them run through Magic Kingdom. Wine and Dine in Star Wars have, from what I've seen, never run through Magic Kingdom.
Yeah. They start, but run away.
Yeah, so you actually are not running through the kingdom. So if that's important to you, you might want to research a little bit more and make sure you maybe do one of the Marathon Weekend races or one of the Princess races.
She's asking also, what are the packs they just released? I don't know what that means, Adam.
Packs?
I'm assuming, and this is a guess, every race has a pack of goodies that you can buy before the race.
Okay.
So
like a virtual goodie bag?
Yeah, so it not the virtual goodie bag, but like if you go on to Run Disney now and you're Run Disney right now and you're registered, you can actually pre-order a whole bunch of your stuff.
Oh yeah, okay.
So I think that's what we're talking about. So they're always releasing new things. Like I think they just released the Princess purchase stuff. So I think that's what you're talking about. If not, Christina, feel free to reach out to me and I will try to get some more clarification on what you want to know.
Okay, next up, like I said, she hit lightning round. So, we're sticking with Christina. She wants to know what are the corrals. She thinks she knows, that's what they're called. And we covered that earlier. It's
I think I covered that, yeah.
Where you're grouped based on your time and or is it a little bit due to when you got in and actually signed up somewhat?
Yes.
It's more about ability.
It can be. It can
A
be.
little bit of both.
Because
like,
if you
when you get past your running abilities, then you get into, I guess, when you signed up,
Yeah. Yeah, especially if you sign up later.
Yeah.
And your corral is full.
Yeah, and it is literally, Christina, literally a corral. It looks like something you would herd cattle through, and they release groups in waves all the way down to the last runner goes. That way they don't turn, 4,000 people loose on a course. Yeah, you don't want to be Mufasa staring down the wildebeests.
Well, it's also
plain and simple.
It makes it easier for the elite runners who are using this to qualify for another position or another race, as opposed to a little bit more casual racers or runners who, what I consider myself, that I'm not feeling like I'm blocking somebody from doing whatever they need to do.
Yeah, I see that. What do you wish you had known for your first Disney run that you know now, for your very first one? Is it going to be, again, don't fuck around the night before?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I have something different.
Okay, Adam.
How goddamn addicting they are.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And you can do more than you think you can do.
Yes.
Because the first thing we only signed up for the 10K.
I was
We didn't know that. I was disappointed in myself. I didn't know that I could do a half, or let alone a full challenge, which I know now I can do.
It's like everybody, we were wearing our medals throughout after the 10. We weren't running the half, so we did the parks and stuff, and everybody's like, well, are you running tomorrow? And I'm like, no. They're like, why? Well, I was afraid that I wouldn't finish. And again, it's getting away from that fear of not finishing. Be afraid not to start. And that's the best advice.
Anything different, Kyle?
Yeah, just not mess with, just even though you're down in Disney World, treat it more as a running event than you're at Disney World. Again, I'm the worst example.
Yep.
Don't go out there and screw around, walk around, rest your legs.
Yeah, don't do as we say, not as we do.
Yeah, my first, like I said, I went again.
We don't do that anymore because we didn't do that for
Yeah. Again, 27 miles before a marathon's not a good half marathon's not a good idea.
I thought you were gonna die at the restaurant, at the bar that night.
Who, me?
Yes.
When
we were sitting up in Tambu.
Yeah, I was just tired as shit.
Yeah, we were done. Just to tack onto that, treat it as more of a relaxing vacation with a goal. Don't think of it as you're in Disney. There's other things you can do in Disney besides attractions. Go to visit hotels. Yes. You're not walking as much. You get to see a little bit more. So that's. I think we're gonna hotel hop a little bit this vacation.
Is the Christmas stuff still up?
Christmas stuff may or may not be up, but we have Riviera to check out.
Yep.
And we haven't seen Grandestino Tower yet. So there's stuff for us to see that. Try to see something a little bit different that's not going to kill your legs, that you're not standing still.
We're going to get stuck on a death bucket?
Yeah, or go...
You know what?
Go...
You're sitting.
Yeah. Go to a hotel restaurant instead of going to a park restaurant.
Yep.
Listen, do yourself a favor. Go to Port Orleans. Enjoy the way that resort looks, both Riverside and the Bayou. Ride the little Sasagula boats. Or don't jump off of them, but just get on them and ride them around. That's 2.5 hours right there, just enjoying that resort. And unless you're staying there, in which case, go somewhere else.
That's where I'm staying.
Okay, then go somewhere else.
Damn it.
I do love that resort, though.
So she wants to know also, what's the best training advice for someone who has never ran other than chasing their kids and dogs?
Galloway.
Run. Just try.
Yeah, just start. Just go.
Just run.
Get up off the couch.
Go on to the Run Disney website, go to the training, follow Galloway, go get his books. It's easy as shit.
He's got different programs for different levels.
Not gonna lie to you, I found Couch to 5K way too hard for me.
Right.
I found it very difficult. The longer it got, I was pushing myself so hard for this program that it just didn't work for me. And then I gave up on it because it got too hard.
I think it wants you to eventually get to a point where you can run the whole 5K.
Yeah, and that's fine. Yeah. That's never going to be something that I need to do.
Yeah, no. I mean, I've done that, and I got, like, week 3 was, like, the best I could do, you know? And listen, couch to 5K, if you don't run, it sucks for your first week. I did week 1 for 3 weeks before I moved on to week 2, before I felt comfortable.
But a lot of people feel as a failure at that point.
Yeah. Well, I get that because it wants to keep pushing you,
right?
And that, which is usually motivating, but the way they do it, because it's so sterile, it really doesn't come off as motivating.
Well, it's not only that. I'm on week 3 and I'm still on week 1 is kind of defeating.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. You're right. Just get up and go do what you can do. Do what you can do. But I'm going to say this: keep track of what you do, whether it's your distance and your pace. Okay. So instead of using Couch to 5K, which wants to push you along, get like a Run Keeper app or something that just logs how far you went, how quick you did it. So the next time you go, see if you're about the same or you can do it a little bit quicker.
My other suggestion is run for distance, not for time.
Miles and miles.
And if you don't feel like running that day, go for a walk.
Just do something.
It's time on your feet.
It has not. Run for distance, walk for distance, not for time. It's about building stamina for these longer distances. It has nothing to do. You know what? The time will come.
Yeah, because if you can go further, then you'll be. Yeah, you're right. The time will come down. So don't worry too much.
Always work on your speed after.
If you do not get discouraged about how far you run the first time out, you're not going to go far.
No, you do. But I think you do need to kind of keep track of what you're doing.
Yeah.
You got to keep track of it, but don't. I mean, if you want to make it your life,
Don't put
go
too much
for
weight
it.
in it.
Well,
I will never knock anybody for finding something that works for them.
no, of course not.
But
I got what got me back into running last year. I did a mile a day challenge for January. Either walk a mile or run a mile. And it kind of got me back in, say, complete running shape, but it got me more motivated. It got me more comfortable with running longer distances.
and again, there's nothing wrong with a fast walk.
Nope. Or a slow walk.
Nope.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just get out there and try.
Just get out there.
Because
Get the miles in.
that slow walk could be what lets you catch your breath, okay?
That's it.
So you can get that next 30-second run in, okay? It may take you 2 minutes to get that 30-second run in. That's fine. Just keep going.
That's it. Just try.
Just keep going. Just keep going until you reach the finish line.
Nope, just try.
These keeps
I don't even care. And this is the thing. We put a lot of focus on finishing because we're challenge people. So in order for us to get our medals, we have to finish. If you just sign up for a half, if you just sign up for a full, you're going to get that medal just by trying.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you don't complete, you might not get your challenge medal, but you'll get your I tried a half. And I guarantee you half the people in your life can't say that. I tried a full. I talk to runners, so I'm a little skewed on this, but how many people do you know ever tried to run a marathon, let alone walk it? You are already ahead of all those people who've never tried.
There you go, Christina. A lot of information. Your last question, I'm going to jump over a couple of them she had in there because she asked about, all info about running Disney runs. We covered that, everything we know. She's wanting to do her first one in 2020. Do you have to stay on property or is it convenient? It is very convenient. 100% convenient because you need that bus. You need that bus that's going to take you there.
Yeah, because it's trying to get there by car and parking your car down there, or it's just from what I heard, it's a cluster.
And you could ride share, but at 3 a.m., I don't know how many operators are going to be in the area.
They know.
I mean, they'll be around for race weekend, but I don't think they're going to be able to drop you off right up front necessarily, quite like the
buses,
the shuttle buses from the resorts are. So, I would definitely encourage you stay on property. It is far and above just a convenience factor. It'll make or I personally think it'll make or break your experience on a Run Disney because you don't want to get there late.
I can't say I never stayed off property. I'm going to be honest. I never stayed off property to run.
Yeah, we never stayed off property during the race.
Yeah. And then lastly, she asks about a meal plan. I'm assuming she's talking about like what would you do to pre-eat and whatever, like we talked about. If there's any vittles on a long run, take them. Beforehand, you need fuel to burn, and you don't want sugar. You want to get carbohydrates.
You don't want to fill your body with junk.
Right. You want complex carbs. You don't want sugar.
You want long-burning fuel. If it's cold, you don't want to throw newspaper in your fireplace. You want to put good long-burning chunks of wood, and that's what your complex carbohydrates, your pastas, stuff like that. That's what that's going to give you.
And since she's new to it, she's got to find out what works for her.
Yes. And I'm fat talking about this like I know what's up.
No. But it's because what works for Tim doesn't work for me. I'm good at the beginning. He's good at the end. What works for Kyle doesn't necessarily work for me. I use different.
Even our fuels are different. What we use for fuels is different.
Yeah, so everything's a little bit different when we look at each other, but we all do it. So it's a lot of trial and error. It's just figuring it out.
And rounding out our listener feedback, we got not so much a comment, but Erin Bange, our Texan, one of our several Texan listeners. She says, not necessarily a question, but more of a comment. So, folks, get your pen and paper out. Jot this down. A little-known thing. After the half marathons, and probably I'm going to say the full marathons on this, you can find a massage tent in the recovery area. It's $1 per minute in 5-minute increments, up to 20 minutes, and they'll get you massaged and stretched out. And if you can't reach all your aching muscles and everything, that's, you're looking at what, $5 a minute, 20 minutes. You spend $50. That's a 10-minute rub down, which
it's $1 a minute in 5-minute increments. So it'd be $20 for 20 minutes.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. $20. That's
so you have to pay for a minimum of 5.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Up to 20.
That's I know a lot of the cheaters like to go to the spas afterwards.
All the bougie ones.
My wife, your husband, but probably Kyle. I don't know.
No, I don't like being groped like that.
You don't?
Me either. I don't like being touched like that.
I'll set you at ease.
I'll be sitting with James, ice packs on our knees in a hot tub and drinking a beer.
Yeah, you see, and I will tell you, we do have a cheater who happens to be a physical therapist, right?
Yes.
The worst thing you can do is go straight to the hot tub. You should ice first or cool first. Just telling you, and stretch.
Stretch.
And cool. Ice and cooler baths after the runs do you better than straight to the hot tub.
And so before, do not stop moving for a little bit.
Yes. Well, I mean, runDisney happens to be really good at that. Because once you end the longer races, there's a bit of walk that you have to walk through still.
Yeah.
So, I mean, runDisney's pretty smart when they have that.
You gotta walk through to get your medals. You gotta walk through to get your food packs.
Even when you think before that, like when they're giving you the wet towels.
Yeah, after you cross the finish line.
And
so
that's a good distance.
They build in a forced cooldown.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which makes perfect sense.
So instead of a 10K, you're probably doing like a 12K.
Okay, that's the other thing. Be prepared to run more than what the race is.
Yeah.
And don't focus on your watch if you got one.
Like I do, because
Like
I obsess.
Oh.
I fully obsess.
My watch says I'm finished already. What's going on?
No, my watch says I'm at 16 and a half minutes pace. How the fuck did this happen? Where are the balloon ladies? I'm dead.
I look more at my actual time of the race. But yeah, I look at, oh my god, it's like I should have been finished 3 miles ago. What the fuck?
Did I miss a turn? What the hell's happened?
Well, yeah, because you got to account for your watch or your whatever you're using to track yourself will measure your weaving in and out of traffic, so that's going to add distance to your race.
Some of them actually won't update as frequently, so like it'll update, it'll ping you here, and then if you've made some serpentine turns the track has, it pings you again. It's just going to go from point A to point B in a straight line, so it's going to seem it could seem shorter.
No, every race I've ran has always been longer.
Oh, it's been longer? Okay.
Every single one.
And also your GPS or your watch is competing against all the other watches out there fighting for the same signal, so it might slow some stuff down.
It's the bubble. Disney builds that bubble around the parks, and that's what interferes with it. It's Walter Elias. It's the Elias effect.
Unfortunately, the only thing that counts is the chip on your bib when it touches that pad.
Yep.
It's the only thing that counts.
The only thing that counts is that you tried. I was going to say it finishing, but that you tried, that you put forth the effort.
You have to try.
That's what counts.
I don't feel finishing is the end all. I think you have to try.
No, because we have several people that are in our group that got swept in a couple different races, and they're getting back out and they're trying it.
There you go. Yeah. Real quick, piggyback. You're just putting a pin in on Aaron's massage tent thing. It's cash only, so if that's something you want to take advantage of, put some cash in your fanny pack or your hidey hole or in your sneaker or whatever.
Your what?
Your prison wallet.
Your hidey hole. No. Sometimes like your running shorts has like a little hidey hole waistband you slide your key into or whatever. Your house key.
Yeah, the little tiny pocket on the inside of the waistband.
Yeah, your hidey hole.
Nobody wants anything that's coming out of that after I'm done running.
The beer tents are cash only too, if I remember correctly.
Adam, they're about to be touching your sweaty ass body. I don't think their standards are that high.
No, the ones after the race.
Yeah, they got the magic bands.
They got taps because I want to say I tapped mine.
Oh,
I thought we
because I didn't carry cash.
The first Star Wars did not have them.
Okay, well,
disregard.
You know what? Bring some cash in your magic band.
Yeah, bring it anyway.
You can tap for that, and then pay out your hidey hole for your beer.
Damn straight.
There you go. Okay. Do you guys have any more other type of tips or anything on running? I mean, we've kind of covered a lot this episode, I think.
Yeah.
I think this is truly informative.
And I really think that there's probably, as much as we covered, there's probably nuances that we missed or skipped over because maybe we take it for granted because you guys have done it so many times, and I've only done the wee bitty baby 5K.
Well, here's the other thing is that the three of us here who run, and I'm including you, Mikey, because the four of us here who ran, right? We all run differently. We all have different preps. We all have different things, and it's all trial and error. And like I said, you just got to try. If you think you can do it, you can do it. Mm-hmm. Running is mostly mental.
Yeah. The biggest difficulty with running, and like you said, it's mental, is doing it the first time.
Yes.
I think that's the hardest part because I only ever get up and go do anything like that when, it appeases my wife. When it'll
appease me if you run a 10 with me.
It would, wouldn't it? And with her, it's just because it helps to motivate her. That's why I started doing any type of running to begin with, was to help motivate her.
Just think of how motivated would be if you guys ran a 10 together.
Oh, man, she would love to run a 10K with you, Adam. I think she's doing that, actually.
Yeah, I'm missing the 5 for Princess. I couldn't figure out how to make that work. I couldn't figure out how to make the 5K work with my job. So.
Well, and then again, also, Run Disney events, it is an investment of money and time because you have to get there. If you're staying on property, there's a lot goes into it, so it really does pay to be in a group, I think, where you can buddy up and maybe, share room together instead of going by yourself. Maybe you can, split cost on a room, it's just stuff like that. And there's plenty of helpful
Hell, we had
runners.
A Sasquatch in our room for the Star Wars races.
Yeah.
One that did not train and did better than the rest of them.
Damn near a Wookiee.
I wasn't.
Looking at you, Todd.
Where you at? Where you at? Hey, I'm here. Where you at? I'm at the beer tent, motherfucker.
That's exactly everybody's response to that.
Well, when you got an 8-foot stride...
I'm not going to finish. Wait, no, because Kyle was part of that group. I'm not going to finish. I'm really nervous. I'm not going to finish. You were part of that morning when he was sitting there saying all that.
Oh,
Todd. Yep.
Oh, Todd. Oh, yeah, Todd was.
Yeah, I'm not going to finish.
But
you're fine. Yeah, he finished before all of us did.
He was in the crowd. He was in the crowd behind me, and somehow a guy. I mean, again, I wasn't trying to beat anybody. I was like, okay, where's everybody meeting at when we get here? I think Jennifer destroyed us all.
Jennifer won. Jennifer went for a PR and got it.
I'm like, so where's everybody at? Todd's like, we're by the beer tent. Motherfucker.
You know what? He lost a toe. A toenail.
That's what was going to happen.
Well, you know what? Congratulations, fat fuck of the North. Way to go. All right. Well, I guess we've reached the finish line of our show tonight, as it were.
Where's my medal?
And
I
it's in the mail.
Reach any finish line without a medal.
It's in the mail.
I got to be at work in 4 hours.
Good for you.
Me too. Me too.
Oh God, is it that late now? Oh,
yep.
Damn. Okay,
I'm
so
off
let's shut this.
I'm sorry.
Adam's like, fuck y'all. Let's shut this down. For closing remarks tonight, good show, guys. Always glad to get someone new in and get insight on something that people have a lot of questions about because Run Disney can be confusing. You know, Kyle, I'm actually going to let you start with closing tonight. Any type of remarks you've got.
Okay, I got one for you. It may work or not. But if you're thinking about doing a race, well, see, you throw me off the faces, Mikey. I can't.
Oh, sorry.
Yep.
I look weird.
It's his face. It's just, it does what it does.
If you're going to start a race off, you know, I think Disney's a way to go. It's you're gonna be nervous because it's a race, but the atmosphere kind of makes it a little more comfortable. It's more fun, more things around, more encouraging people. Instead of going to like this Marine Corps marathon, you're trying to buy everybody who's right next to you who's trying to qualify for Boston. It's making you more nervous. But you go to Disney race, just trying to buy like-minded people, and it's just more comfortable, I guess, is the right way of saying it.
It definitely is a less pressure.
That's a good word. I've been drinking.
Good closing remarks, Kyle. You're welcome. We're glad you were on the show.
Oh, thank you.
You missed that.
I'm tired.
Oh my God. Tim, what do you got?
Well,
send us home.
A little counterpoint to Kyle's, even though that is a great point. If you're intimidated by spending all that money for a Disney race, let's face it, Disney race isn't only expensive, but you also have to get down there. And if you feel like you don't want to risk feeling like you wasted that money if you don't finish, sign up for a local race. Sign up for a local 5K. Do something local in your area, see how you can do it, and then move on from there.
Yeah, because your community is going to have probably a 5K every couple of months. Somewhere in your community has got something going. A memorial, a holiday, a beer.
Warmer months, if you're in a northern climate, the warmer months you can have more.
Yes.
Look for a beer run, because that's probably the most laid-back event you could go. No? Adam says no. Adam
The
says
exact
no.
opposite. It's one of the hardest things I've ever tried to do.
Well, perhaps I would be approaching it the wrong way, because I would just go have a beer and run. Or not.
I saw an article about a race called the Mac Attack, where you have to finish a Big Mac every mile.
I wouldn't do that.
Everywhere.
No, I wouldn't do that.
I'm in.
No, I would throw up. Well, first of all, I wouldn't eat a Big Mac because it's got shit on it that I don't eat. But
Well, first of all, my ass would explode halfway through the race, so there's that too.
Nailed it.
Imodium.
Well, you just got to hang it over the steeple and you'll be fine. Okay. Well, speaking of asses exploding, I guess, Adam, it's your turn.
There you
for
go.
Closing remarks.
The first race we ever ran was the Star Wars 10K, and I can sum up that pretty much experience with just the first encounter I ever had going to the expo. There was this one lady on the bus who we just struck up a conversation with because we were heading over to the expo, and I can't remember her name. It was years ago, and she actually said, "This is y'all's first race. I'm going to take you under my wing. I'm going to show you where you need to go. I'm going to help you out." And that's the best way I can explain the Run Disney race. Everybody there is trying to help you succeed. Nobody wants to see you fail. And if you fail, that's okay too. And if you don't finish, that's okay too. And there's a group of us, I mean, we talked about some people not finishing, right? And I can't tell you, I run with my phone, I run with my watch. We were all on the lookout, and we supported anybody who didn't finish as much as those people who did. And I can't say that for every running group. So it's all about trying for us. There's not one of us who's in elite shape. There are a few of us, but a majority of us are in an elite shape. If you try, there's going to be somebody there to support you. Reach out to our running group. Reach out to the Facebook group. Private message somebody if you don't want to go the public route. I guarantee you there's somebody going through the exact same struggles you're going with health, with training, with all of this. Find a buddy, reach out, and try.
So my closing, I want to, real quick, Kyle, you're doing the Redcon, which you guys have mentioned a couple different times. What is that?
Redcon 1 is a supplement company. It's mostly for bodybuilders and meatheads. However, I use some of the stuff for like endurance. Like they got the Cluster Bomb is my favorite. Is a carb drink. You can use it for, again, working out, bodybuilding, or for endurance racing. And anything else you can use in there. Amino acids. I kind of stay away from the proteins. Again, I'm not in that workout phase, bodybuilding phase right now, but I do put them in when I can. But I have used it again for all my runs, and especially certain ones help me recover faster. I'm not as sore. And again, some things help me get a little extra oomph because I can't do goos, I can't do any of that bullshit. I gotta do some kind of drink to help me get that extra energy in.
So one of them tastes like grape Kool-Aid.
Grape Kool-Aid, yes. Cluster bomb grape is the best. But
it smells like it every time he makes one.
Yes, but I'm an ambassador for him. Rick, just message me, find me on the 3 sheets, and I'll give you a 20% discount every time.
So, as an ambassador, do you have like a some type of like a medal you wear around your neck, or like a placard, or a fancy ring?
He has epaulets.
I don't get shit.
And the only thing I'm going to say is if you do order using Kyle's stuff, let him know, because he doesn't necessarily get that information.
Right.
So if you do order something through Kyle using his name, and you can find him on our running group, if you go to Redcon 1, there's a spot where you enter in his name as the one who recommended you.
Right.
Or sponsor, I don't remember exactly what it says.
It's called the tier operator referral at checkout.
There you go.
Like, I can get
it was a whole lot more words than...
If there's no sale going on, I'll give you 20%, no matter what. But sometimes the sales going on are a little better than my 20%, but as long as you put my name in that box, I'll still get the credit for the sale.
Okay. Cool. I'll try to remember to put a link in the show notes on this, but we don't do show notes, so that's an empty promise.
I'll just come find me on Facebook.
I'll put it in the description.
There is a post in the running group that I search for before I order anything, because that's the way my mind works. So
I can repost it again.
Yeah, repost it.
All right.
Okay, and I think lastly, I wanted to hit on this real quick. We keep talking about the Facebook group, the running group. I'm going to cross-post this episode because I think we got people in the running groups that aren't in our regular Facebook group, and obviously vice versa. So if you're interested in the running / activity group, because it's not always running, we got a guy on there who doesn't do a whole lot of running, but he lifts Buicks and shit like that. Talking to you, Tim.
Resident meathead,
right?
Yeah.
He's a
Scotsman.
Scotsman.
Who did a challenge that we will never do?
Right. So if you listen, go to Facebook, just type in 3 sheets. You'll probably come across 3 sheets the mouse, which is going to be our main group, and 3 sheets the finish line, which is our activity group. Very motivating. We want people to succeed. We want people to just get out and do stuff. So it's very uplifting, very motivating. And if you are new to this Run Disney thing and you're going to be running, don't be afraid to post your bib numbers, so those of us that aren't running can kind of follow along and keep track of all of our sheeters that are out there on the course.
Please post your bib numbers, actually, because this way there's a tracking thing that you can actually sign up for that'll give you alerts on your phone. It also makes some of us running, it gives us that notice to say, hey, somebody might be struggling. Can you check on them? Do you have eyes on them?
So we'll try to get a post where if you want to share your bib number, once you pick it up at the expo, we'll try to kind of compile that so everybody can follow along.
Bib numbers are actually out.
Oh, okay.
On your waivers.
If you can find bib numbers at this point. The only ones that are not posted are the 10 and 5, I want to say.
Okay.
We won't know those until we get out.
We won't know those, but if you're running the half or the full and you want to post them, post away.
Then do they even track the 10 and the 5?
What?
Do they even track the 10 and the 5?
They track the 10, they do not track the 5.
They track the 10, they don't track the 5.
There's no RFID strip in the 5, right. But there is one in the 10.
Then we'll pin an announcement in the running group about
actually here's my 5K bib right here. There's no tab on it.
Nope. But the 10 has a tag because you can change your group.
Okay. Well, there you go, folks. That's the rundown on Run Disney. I want to thank Kyle for filling in for us. He's proof that you do not have to be thin to run.
Nope.
As am I. But I just usually run to the bathroom. So let's, thank you, the listener, for spending, God, what is this, 2 hours with us talking about
2+
some bullshit.
Hours?
Yeah, this is a marathon episode, and these aren't even really trying to be puns. That's just how it's coming out, man. So thank you. Please join in on the interaction and the comments and the the chats and stuff on our Facebook groups when these get posted. And if you're doing any Run Disney events later this year, or you're got more questions, reach out to any of us here. Reach out to Kyle, because he's done it several times, and we want to get you squared away so you won't be apprehensive on taking on these challenges.
And for those of you who are not running the next race, the next semi-official meetup will be, it's posted, it's the fireworks Tuesday night. Might be fucking this up. It's on the page. And then there's a bunch of us going to Splitsville Wednesday night.
So thank you for listening, and listen, let's get the hell out of here, guys. What do you say? Well, good night, folks.
Bye.
Welcome and thank you.